Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Only a Carpathian would come back to life now and choose New York. Tasty pick. Bonehead.
We were every bit the force. We live, we breathe, we sweat, we paid the price to be the best. Never been about the boys in the office. The boys that have gone out there night in, night out, doing everything they could to be the very best at what they chose to do in their life. Those boys are here tonight.
Well, I must have been away too long because my feelings are dead. I feel no remorse.
I only am who I am because I was born that way. I have a gift, and I am trying to not be selfish about it, but to use it.
My job consists of basically masking my contempt for the assholes in charge. And at least once a day retiring to the men's room so I can jerk off while I fantasize about a life that doesn't so closely resemble hell.
It's my house, and if you don't like it, get the fuck out.
Grab a dog, I choke him, and I kick the shit out of him. And I all day long, I put up a dog's ass. Just bang, bang, bang up his ass. That's my pleasure.
Go back to bed, America. Your government has figured out how it all transpired. Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again. Here you go, America. You are free to do as we tell you. You are free to do as we tell you. You are free to do as we tell you.
Sometimes shit happens. Someone has to deal with it. And who are you going to call?
Oh, you guys like to tell jokes and giggle and kid around, huh? Giggling like a bunch of young boys with a school. Well, let me tell a joke.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Pretty soon now, you know I'm gonna make a comeback. And like the bars and the bees in the trees, it's a sure fast smash. I'll speak
It's the Ron and Fez show. Happy birthday, Fez Watley, 866 Ron Zero Fez. Happy birthday, Fez Watley. And as we start Fez's birthday show, which last year, of course, was a nightmare of drunkenness and Fez falling apart, this year there is no Fez Watley in here for his birthday. Eastside Dave, come on in here. Where exactly is Fez?
Hey, Fez is stuck. He was stuck on a tram high above Manhattan.
He was stuck on the tram?
I thought so.
Wow.
Yeah. Talk about a phobia.
Earl, have you talked to Fez yet?
He just called me a few minutes ago. He's on the east side. He sounded very flustered.
Now, was he on the tram or... I thought he already had a tram problem and went back in the train.
I believe he jumped on the train, and the train had a signal problem, so he was stuck in between stops for God knows how long, which is the worst feeling.
Where he got stuck was in the train, not on the tram.
Oh, in the train. Okay, well, underground, a lot worse than possibly above ground. I don't know.
Here's what I'm asking you, Dave. Can we count on you?
I don't think so.
I'm going to pull the curtain back a little bit and just talk about the uncomfortability of Eastside Dave yesterday. For some reason, Earl, by the way, A+ this week in bookings. You just had great guests on the show, and it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yesterday, but here's the problem, Earl. When the guests get here, when you have a Henry Rollins who has albums and movies and TV shows, there should be a little VIP treatment. He doesn't need to be treated like he's Princess Diana, but it should be set up like, hey, we're glad to have you here, and it's nice for you to be here, and this should be a comfortable place. Eastside yesterday, for whatever reason, shoved him into a very odd corner of the room where he didn't have enough leg room, I noticed, as I looked over. And I didn't want to ruin the interview by going, hey, let's move you, but I could tell it was upsetting. Then, seconds before we go on the air with him, Eastside takes Henry's headphones, which he didn't have on his head, and instead of saying, would you like to use the headphones, attempted to shove the headphones onto his head while the man sat there.
Not a good move.
Yeah, Henry Rollins, not what you would call a girly man. He's kind of a man's man. He's a straight-edge punk rocker. He doesn't like a lot of shit, and I'm guessing doesn't like to be touched. He whips his hand up and knocks Eastside away. Didn't even say, like, what are you doing or what are you up to? He just grabbed him, slapped his hand away. Did he hold it for a second?
He grabbed my wrist.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, there's a mark.
I wish he would have fucking snapped it. I got to tell you the truth. I wish he could have snapped it. Then afterwards, Eastside is telling, like when we get outside during because we went all the way to the end of the show with him. After the show, Eastside is telling the story real loud. Henry Rollins is still walking around. So there's no, even though I think like the interview itself went well, there's no way the man will ever want to come back to this fucking zoo.
He really doesn't like me. I mean, as soon as he got here, he was giving me the stare and everything. I thought we were going to be ink buddies.
You always told me, I know. The other thing is the Eastside wears a really short shirt so his tattoos can be blazoned. He wants to get that whole thing going.
I really pictured in my mind Henry Rollins going, nice ink, bro. You know, something like that. And then I'll be like, hey, nice tattoos yourself, Mr. Rollins.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Don't fantasize about the guests. And don't touch them. There's never a situation where a guest should be touched. Here's Bronx Johnny. Johnny, you may have to start and deal with the guest.
Yeah, no, man. Henry Rollins like he was gonna fucking Dave up, man. It looked bad.
Was he mad at him?
Oh yeah. If looks could kill, man, Dave wouldn't be here right now. Oof.
All right, so Dave, you can't do that again.
It was, I mean, I don't see why he was such an angry man. I just simply wanted to actually...
I don't like to be touched by other men.
All I was trying to do was put the headphones on him.
Here's what I want you to understand. He's been in the rock business since 1980. He's probably been in countless studios, recording studios, radio studios. Do you think he's familiar with headphones?
Now, yeah.
I mean, do you think that he's like... Oh, what are these things, and how do I get them on?
I think he probably understands. Now that you say that, it was a mistake on my part, probably. A little miscalculation. But I was trying to give Henry Rollins primo service, so I thought Don't even lift a finger. I'll put the headphones on for you.
Right, but would Primo Service for you pull a zipper down and give him a quick reach around? A man doesn't want to be touched by another man. It's very uncomfortable.
And the best and maybe worst part, depending on how you look at it, is after the interview, he actually had to climb out of his chair. Like, he couldn't get out.
Why are you laughing?
Sorry.
Because you had him jammed in there.
No, I know. So he climbed out of his chair and had to ask Ron to get his bag for him. He's like,
it was
man,
very
can you
annoying.
get my bag?
Now, Earl, you have George Romero booked today?
Yes, he's scheduled to come in at 12:15 to plug the Big Apple comic convention coming in this weekend.
Why is speaking so difficult for you? You do such a great job off the air. Why is just plugging something hard for you?
No, I was like, when you can't cough and you're trying to force it out?
Yes, but we're on the radio. We can't be in that thing of, I'm constantly having a coughing problem. Well, look who's just coming in now. The birthday boy, Fez Marie Watley.
I think I picked the only day I could get away with to be late.
What happened? I heard from Eastside your tram was stuck, but it wasn't a tram, it was something else?
It was the subway.
It was the subway.
It was the train was stuck, not the tram.
So where were you stuck at?
3 different places. The F train pulls into Roosevelt Island.
Right.
We sit there, for a while.
Right.
Then the doors finally close. We stop in the tunnel in between the Roosevelt Island and the next stop.
Under the river, which can't be a comfortable situation for you.
No, so I'm just, I'm pulling at my collar like I'm Yogi Bear or something. Then
Yogi Bear did a lot of collar pulling? I'm not familiar.
Yeah, he was the Rodney Dangerfield of cartoon bears.
A train! Yeah.
So I can't breathe as it is.
Right.
Then we pull into the next stop, the Lexington Avenue station.
Right.
And we just stop. Fortunately, they decided to open the doors. So that's when I bolted.
So for a while they have you at the station but with the doors shut?
Right, yeah.
I'd have kicked the fucking door out. I can't let somebody else tell me that I'm there but I can't get out.
So so it took over 20 minutes to get from one stop to the other. I finally get to the surface.
Right.
Where my cell phone works. So I could try to call Earl.
All right, first of all, you just made the scratching and climbing like somehow you got out of a coal mine.
Yeah, much like I'll do in my coffin one day, just scratching at the inside of the lid. So then I finally make it to the surface. I try to call Earl, line busy.
Sure.
I can't get through to Earl when I need to.
Because he's playing the bongos to I'm a Man by Joe Jackson all morning. Did you ever have one of those coughs you can't get out?
So then I finally was able to get in a cab and make it here to the XM studios.
What a nightmare for your birthday.
I know, and I'm just thinking, it's like, shouldn't have gotten out of bed on this birthday? Who knows? Who knows what else is to come today?
Well, me and you were supposed to hang out tonight and have a Ron and Fez night.
Yeah, so that'd be good.
I feel like I don't want to be around Jinxie on a day like today.
It can't be Jinxie today. Today's my birthday.
Every day is Friday the Jinxteenth.
First birthday call I got this morning was from Mother.
Yeah.
Who called me from my hometown, Pinellas Park, Florida, and said, Happy Terry Schiavo Day.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was 1 year ago that the feeding tube lady died in my hometown, Pinellas Park, Florida.
And I honestly believe that somehow her soul jumped into your body because you've had a Terry Schiavo year.
I've lost the weight she has.
Right.
So, yeah, it could be. I'm possessed by Coma Girl.
So, man, I want today to be a good day for you, and I can already see that you're kind of disheveled.
Disheveled, and I'm one of those people where, everything has to be just so.
Yeah.
So to start off this off balance,
right.
I'll feel like I'm playing catch-up the rest of the day.
Let's face it, 50% of the time you're going to be stuck in a train if you take that mode of transportation. They get stuck all the time. It happened to Earl that day.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Where he couldn't move and kept underground.
Yes.
They bury you alive.
See, that's what I hate about it. The only good thing is, it's all granite down there. It's not like there's ever been like a rock slide of any type.
Right, and being stuck under the East River, I'm just waiting to see a leak spring and maybe the water start to come up to the windows of the subway train.
Well, the other thing I read about the subways in New York, because there's no kind of ventilation, the same air that was down there in the 1920s and 30s, that same breathe air, you're still just redoing that. I'm not making that up to...
Oh, that aches my lungs.
Yeah, I'm not trying to gross you out with that. but you're probably breathing in, I don't know, Benny Goodman, Charlie Parker air.
I breathe the air that Lindbergh did.
Seriously, it's basically the same stuff.
Oh, and you know what a tuberculosis time of society that was.
I don't know how the mole people live down there all the time. They've got to be the toughest people on the planet. You got to give them all the credit in the world.
That's all I needed was to see a pair of glowing eyes while I was stuck down there.
Hey, Mike, you're on Ron and Fez. Say happy birthday to Fezzy.
Happy birthday to Fez. Hey, Fezzy.
Hey, Mike, thank you.
Be careful. Ron's going to simulate being stuck in a train there in the studio.
Just relax.
I know, and yesterday I was doing those gimmicks to kind of freak him a little bit, and now today you have that kind of experience.
Yeah, today I actually got stuck.
On 1 to 10, how freaked were you?
I hit a 9.
Yeah.
Fast. I wasn't so bad when we were stuck inside the Roosevelt Island station, Retard Island, where I live.
Right.
Because, you can still see and everything. But when you're in the dark tunnel and you're underground and it's not moving, with no hopes of moving either. Because they're saying, signal trouble at Rockefeller Plaza, that's what was holding up the train.
Right.
So there's no sort of even time frame of we'll be moving in 1.5 minutes or anything like that.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't know what's going to happen. And they can't back them up.
No.
It's not like you can, even if they want, they don't back them up to go back to the other spot. You're just stuck.
You're stuck in place.
Ah, jeez, I hate those trains now.
So, Ron, for my present to Fezzy, I'd like you to play the Tender Pullman Fezzy Breakdown song, please.
Wow, do we even still have that, Earl?
Earl, that should
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, that should be around.
Do you know what the title of it is, Fez? Because I know it was done to, was it done to the weight? No, it was the night they drove Old Dixie down.
Yeah, so I think it was the night
Fezzy went down or something like that.
Yeah.
Look it up, would you, Earl?
The night Fezzy broke down, I think.
And basically, I was even thinking about replaying that entire breakdown because it's so classic, but we're so busy today. And you know what? It is your birthday, and you should have a nice day. I mean, I don't want this to be Terry Schiavo Day. Fez gets drunk and has a birthday. I really do want you to have a good day today.
There's 364 other days we could play that, Ronnie.
I know. So maybe a quick the night they broke old Fezzy down. And is Fez crying on there too, on that song? I believe so, right?
Yeah.
We had drops?
Yeah, what Tender Pullman, the musical genius, did was take drops of my meltdown, my breakdown, and add it into the song.
And then I think somebody like, I don't know, either Giant Brian or J-Dubs, whoever we had with us at the time, probably added some stuff.
Yeah, added a few things. I heard from J-Dubs and Giant Brian on my birthday, both.
Is that right?
Yep.
That's very cool.
J-Dubs gave me a call. J-Dubs from the Hideout on Real Radio, and Giant Brian doing radio in Philadelphia.
No, they were definitely our best on-air producers. They were guys that could actually grab the mic and be part of the show.
Could give a shit off the air.
Right, yeah. Off the air, they were just like, well, I wish I had Fez's job. You know what I mean? What I'm shooting for is Fez's job.
It was just feet up and, hey, have they restocked the snack machine yet?
That's the problem. Fez and I put our feet up so everybody feels like that's our work ethic. That's only our work ethic for ourselves. We want to see everybody else scrambling.
That is never the goal to work for.
Now, I'm waiting to hear back from Earl to say, hey, Ronnie, I got it and I'm ready to play it.
Unfortunately, I can't find it.
Why not? Why would there be any piece of comedy or entertainment that we've done that you don't have at your fingertips?
Because it was not properly labeled.
By who?
That was one piece of audio I did not produce.
I understand that, but you've had 5.5 months with us.
Yeah, when you had all that stuff in the binders to catalog and get in the system.
And you got interns sitting around, and you got Eastside Dave, who looks like he has nothing to do but to rough up our guest.
Right now, he's got a mannequin out there, and he's practicing putting headphones on it.
Move, go!
Just to see if he can do it with a real person one day.
What an uncomfortable day yesterday. I was actually cringe. Here's something that is bothering me, Fez, and this is one of those stupid things that gets into your head, and you don't know why. I'm not sure if I made the right choice picking Outcast over White Stripes. And I was actually laying in bed last night going, I don't know. If I really was up to me, if both songs are on the radio at the same time, I still think I'd turn on the White Stripes. Yes, Outkast had a bigger song. But what about to me personally, as a judge? Earl, it's probably too late to go back and change that, isn't it? There's got to be some kind of, the judge makes a call and that's the end of it.
Yeah, I believe all decisions are final.
See, I don't like that.
That's the way they do it in the NFL. The NFL, the league will come back and say, hey, a ref made a bad decision. The decision stands.
See, the problem is, even if I did flip it, I think I would go back to thinking, I don't know. That seems like the move. Fezzy, big weekend for you because your Florida Gators that you adopted 2 games ago are playing their big rivals right now, George Mason University in Fairfax, Virginia.
Yeah, the Gators taking on the Cinderella Boys, the George Masons. That's going to be the first game on Saturday.
Now, I saw the coach of the Gators trying to say that they're also Cinderella team. We're a Cinderella team.
They've been Final Four before.
I think they've been Final Four. They've definitely been in 8 and 16. Plus, take a look at it. It's a major school. You really can't be Texas was the underdog last year against USC. But they weren't the Cinderella team come from nowhere. They were definitely the number 2 team, and they won a game that, the odds makers picked them to lose. That doesn't make you a Cinderella.
Yeah, when you're the Florida Gators and you go into the tournament, I think a number 3 seed, you can't be Cinderella being that high seeded in your bracket.
Now, in basketball rivals, I wonder who George Mason's is. It's probably some other school no one's ever heard of. It's like Nova and them have really gone at it over the years.
I'm sure there's some sort of Fairfax County Junior College that is their main crosstown rival.
Yeah. There's nothing like having a good rival. You know what I'm saying? That's the best thing that you can have in sports.
What I like in a rival, especially a college rival, is when a coach's job could be on the line. Like the Ohio State coach, like Jim Tressel. He could actually lose his job if he loses to Michigan.
Michigan, Ohio State in football is such a damn big one. It really is. Now, college football. Other than that, to me, the one that really matters, because you know how everybody says, like in a Texas A&M game, well, we don't care if we lose every game as long as we beat Texas. The fact is, that's not true. Most of the time, that coach will still be fired if he has a really bad season but beats his rival. The only game that really you can get away with it in is Army-Navy because no one pays attention. Nobody in the country cares what either one of those 2 teams do, and then the entire country watches that one game.
Yeah, and they got it set up nice, too, where that's usually the last regular college season game of the year.
Yeah.
They make sure everybody is done before they play that game.
Even the championship games?
No, it's before that long Thanksgiving break into Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
They're like that last game.
But I mean, even
Saturday.
before the conference championships, like the SEC games and all that.
Right.
They're before or after?
They're after.
Yeah.
Or like same day of.
Yeah. Well, no, I know they got their own weekend. I know they got their own Saturday. I just didn't know whether they took place before that, normal Colorado-Texas game that they force on us every year.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're after.
I would have to say, if I'm looking at the great rivals, it's going to be Army, Navy, and then Chi-Sun Valley is probably the really great one that people go wild over.
Yeah, that one I wasn't so aware of.
How could you not be, Fuzzy? It's Thanksgiving. We got to beat them.
That one got past me.
Zach thinks he knows who Mason's big rivals are. Zach, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, buddies. How's it going?
Hey, man.
Enjoying the show. I think George Mason's rival is like Hofstra and St. Joe's.
All right, so that's not bad. Those are 2 good basketball schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shows up.
I thought it was like a St. Joe's Temple or maybe even Villanova. I thought that was big. And then I guess Georgetown, Maryland is a big game, right?
That's a big one. I think Georgetown, Notre Dame is like getting bigger.
Really?
Yeah, because, both teams being in the Big East, it sets up a more natural rivalry.
All right, what would be considered the big basketball one? Is that Kentucky-Louisville?
Yeah, I think that's tops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over everybody else?
Yep. Yeah. And just when Rick Paterno came back to Kentucky, but to go to Louisville.
Hey, Turtle, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Maha Bone Ron.
Maha
Notre Dame, USC, biggest biggest rivalry in the country. You can't argue that. And
Although
you could have been at that game, baby.
I want to tell you something else, though. A lot of people would say USC, UCLA is bigger for USC because that's that in-town thing. And that's really tough for you when two teams share the same town. Like, you could always talk about Yankees, Red Sox, but that World Series, when it was Yankees against the Mets, I don't know how it played in the rest of the country, but New York was nuts for that game.
Yeah, because that's something you got to live with every day. There's no going home from that one.
Forever. If the Mets win that series, I don't know if Earl has another good day after that.
No, not at all.
Was that bigger for you, Earl, than the Red Sox?
Absolutely. If we had lost to the Mets that year, it would have erased all the championships.
Yeah.
All of them. It was just, this town was just, it was like a civil war.
Yeah. It definitely was.
You would see people in different Mets and Yankees caps yelling at each other across busy intersections in New York.
Now, is there any kind of, well, college football has a ton. You know, college football is Florida State. That's a big one. You mentioned the Ohio State, Michigan. That's huge every year.
Alabama, Auburn
is gigantic. And again, it's like teams fighting over their kind of almost state championship.
Yeah, and they'll start to get nicknames, like when Texas-Oklahoma plays, the Red River Shootout. Is that what it is? The Red
I had
River
no idea.
Classic, something
I didn't
like
know
that.
about that. I'm trying to think of what else goes that way. There's really tons in college football.
I like the one, the Minnesota college football, Minnesota against Wisconsin, where they play for the giant Paul Bunyan axe, and all the pride is on the line there from the Nordic states.
I would be embarrassed to go home with the big axe. I guess those people want it, though. The local people are like, bring back the big axe, whatever happens. We need the big axe here.
Yeah, so that would definitely. Florida, where I grew up, they got Florida State, like you mentioned, and then also Florida, Tennessee is huge.
Now, in pro football, everybody acts like their rivals are the Cowboys. If you go to Philadelphia, they act like, oh, Eagles, Cowboys. You can't get away from it. New York acts like Giants, Cowboys. And then the Redskins fans claim that it's Redskins, Cowboys. So if you're the Cowboys, it's basically like being Notre Dame. Somebody always wants to knock you off.
Yeah, you don't have a weekend where it's not your rival Sunday.
Which sucks.
Well, we're playing our rival again. It's all on the line this year.
Hey, Chris, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ron and Fez. Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you, pal.
The oldest rivalry in college is the Georgia and Georgia Tech. It's the oldest one, and this state is nothing but crazy during that time of the year, the Georgia Tech game.
Yeah, there's something just so beautiful about that Georgia campus, too, in Athens. That's a really, well, I'm going to put it nicely and just say a drunk town. It's a really, really drunk town. But wouldn't you think that USC Army would have been before Georgia Tech? I thought that was kind of the first big one, and then it kind of fell off.
Yeah, you would definitely think that just from how old the programs are.
You know, the old Newt Rockney gimmick.
Florida, Georgia, also huge if you're throwing Georgia around with that world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
Yeah, that is a gigantic one, and they never play at home. They never play their home game.
They go halfway. They go to Jacksonville, Florida.
And you think they get more Gator fans there, or is it just about split even since it's in Florida?
I think it's more Gator fans.
Hey, Cock Garage, you're on Ron and Fez.
How's it going, guys? Happy birthday, Fez.
Thanks, pal.
The most overlooked rivalry in all professional sports, the New York Islanders and the New York Rangers.
It is overlooked because, no one cares about hockey. And then, two, no one cares about New York outside of New York. I know it's going to drive you crazy, but it's really true.
The New York fans, any sport, hate to hear that.
Because it's all they have.
It drives them Captain Insano.
866-RON-0-FEZ, 866-RON-0-FEZ. Baseball stuff, I guess you got to go Cubs cards. That's always big. Dodgers, Giants. We mentioned before Yankees, Red Sox. At least in this point in time, has got to be the real big one in baseball.
Yeah, that's what, with both teams making the playoffs every year. Yeah, so it just gets bigger and bigger when more and more is on the line.
Hey, John, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, John.
How you doing? Happy birthday, Fez.
Thank you, Johnny.
I got a couple. Football, Jets, Dolphins is always a big one. And then you missed the college basketball, Duke, UNC.
Duke UNC is absolutely enormous. Maybe the biggest of all in college basketball. Hey, Tony, you're on Ron and Fez.
What about Harvard and Yale?
You know, it's kind of interesting because nobody pays attention to either game until they play each other, and then they'll get some ESPN credit.
Finally,
That's
some
perfect,
Ivy League.
Yeah.
Some Ivy League coverage.
Here's Dave. Dave, you're on the Ron and Fez show. What's happening, buddy? Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, happy birthday, Fezzy.
Thanks, pal.
Hey, going back to what that guy said about Georgia Tech, yeah, that's great. I'm a huge Bulldogs fan, but I would rather lose to Georgia Tech than I would Auburn.
Auburn is your big game.
Yeah, that's considered the Deep South's oldest rivalry.
And still, I got to agree with Fezzy that people would say Auburn, Alabama, bigger game for everybody all the way around.
Yeah, totally. I remember I used to live in Pensacola right there on the Alabama border.
Yeah.
Oh, man, they would be insane when that game was coming up.
Now, in pro basketball, it would always, used to be everybody's rivals were the Celtics. It would be Lakers Celtics, Knicks Celtics, Sixers Celtics. Those would always be blown up. And we really haven't seen the Celtics ever since a little cocaine problem destroyed the entire program.
Yeah, that's when a rival can really run up the head-to-head competition on you, where it's like in the past 10 meetings.
Here's Frank. Frank, you're on Ron and Fez. How are you?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, Frank.
It's Frank Rapp.
Hey, Rapp. How are you, buddy?
Good.
Good to talk to you.
Hey, Rapper.
Hey, what's going on?
Fezzy's birthday today.
Hey, happy birthday, my friend. How old are you?
He's 100. You should see him, Rapp. He's 100. What are you up to, buddy?
I bet he is.
Yeah.
Not much. How could you forget Army-Navy in your hometown?
Oh, we brought up Army-Navy a little earlier. I had made that game before, and it is an unbelievable game to go to, even though you don't care about either program.
Yeah.
Did you do the presidential thing where you switch sides at halftime?
No, what I did is I stopped smoking pot and then went into the angel dust for the second half. It was my way of saying I'm with both sides.
How symbolic.
Hey, Rapper, good talking to you. Stay in
You
touch,
too,
buddy.
pal.
All right,
I'll
take
see
care.
you.
All right, Rap, we haven't talked to him in forever. He's my buddy, and, well, he's a slumlord. I'm not going to lie to you. The man invented something that, Earl, he's a guy I grew up with. He invented something in low-cost housing. What he does is, I don't know what the deal there is, who you have to go through, Fez. What's the government program?
Probably HUD.
Yeah, I guess it's HUD. He invented something in HUD housing that's really brilliant. You know how you have to have carpeting for everybody, Earl?
Yes.
For you families? What he would do was, he came up with the idea of just painting the floor and saying that was a covering and saving a little money for himself. And he's doing real well.
Got creative. He's a pioneer.
Yeah. So,
in slumlording, yes.
So, Earl, for you, when rap would come around your house, that's when your parents would lay on the floor and tell the kids not to talk and no one answer the door?
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be his job.
Get on the floor. I can't. The carpet's too hard.
Hey, Tracy. Tracy, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Tracy.
Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Tracy here. Hey, you forgot the biggest, newest rivalry.
What's
Duke
that?
versus the stripper.
Yeah, Duke. Yeah, but that's a highlight. And I guess they got a little carried away.
I would say a little bit.
Yeah. All right, talk to you later.
Thanks.
Yes, I know it's lacrosse. They're handing me things. Can I make a fucking joke from time to time, boys, without you handing me stuff?
That's what they try to do.
I know no college team has a highlight team.
University of Miami should. There's one. University of Miami, Notre Dame. That was gigantic.
That was gigantic
forever.
for a little while, yeah. And Miami against Florida State, Miami against the Gators is always a big game. It's always a national game.
Yeah, Miami's starting to play Florida again every year now, I think. So that's going to be huge one more time.
All right, Earl, you think you got a line on the guy who wrote a book, you said? About what?
He wrote a book about the Duke University of North Carolina rivalry, college basketball, which might be the biggest rivalry in college basketball.
All right, what's that guy's name?
His name is Will Blythe, and his name of his book is "To Hate This is to be Happy Forever."
All right, go ahead and when you get a chance, see if you can get him on, because that real college basketball, it really in the last 10 years probably, has gotten bigger than ever. They've done such a great thing with this this contest at the end of the year where you really find out who the champion is. Because you don't get that in football. There's still people bitching.
Yeah, and it's so nice at the end of the college basketball season because you do have your big tournament. End of the college football season, you have people saying the computer picked wrong.
Right.
It's every year where there's just controversy instead of just being excited.
Yes, and everybody thought that UConn would win. UConn should have beaten George Mason. But when you don't, pack your fucking bags and go home. You can't sit around and talk about bad calls or whatever. You got to work it out on the floor, and that's what happened there. Now, you said this game, and then after that, the next game is LSU.
Yeah, with a Big Baby against UCLA.
Yeah, that should be a good game, too. And then what do we wait, a few days? Like middle of next week?
No, I think it's actually Monday.
Monday? They do it that quick?
Yeah, they take a day off. They take Sunday off and then play the championship on Monday.
All right, more bad news for The Apprentice. More bad news for The Apprentice.
We will see record lows again.
They keep doing worse all the time?
Yeah, that show is struggling. They keep getting knocked off, 500,000 here, 500,000 there, week to week.
Hey, Sean, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
Happy birthday, Fez.
Thanks, pal.
Ron, congratulations on having your own radio show.
Thank you very much.
Didn't want to leave you out there.
Yeah, well, I do have my own, so what do I care? What do I care what you have?
Oh, I got a screaming case of crabs.
What do you got for us, Sean? Don't slow the fucking show down.
All right, my bad. The greatest sports rivalry, Sergeant Slaughter versus the Iron Sheik.
All right, what would you pick out all-time greatest in wrestling, Fez?
I would say the greatest rivalry was Flair Hogan.
Flair Hogan, even though it really didn't get done until it was too late.
It started late when Hogan went to WCW.
Yeah,
that's when it kicked in.
To me, to have a great rival is you don't know who's going to win and go back and forth. Since Hogan will never fucking count the lights, it keeps it from being good rivals. So I'd rather go back to saying something like Flair against the Dragon or something where you didn't know what was going to happen. Now, in sports boxing, for me, it's still Ali Frazier. Ali Frazier, to me, is the pinnacle point that you could get in professional boxing. 3 fights, 2-1, and 3 wars, where even when Ali wins, he's going to check into the hospital. He literally has to check into the hospital after winning.
Yeah, that's like, so, when we got later on, like Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, the match that should have been 10 years earlier, that feud had no gas to go on.
Yeah, and to really need it, I like the fact that, you had Leonard Hearns or Leonard Duran, where, you didn't know what was going to happen in that bout. And these things kept coming back and forth. So definitely, I don't know which one that you would pick as the all-time best for the smaller guys, but Leonard's got to be in there.
Yeah, I would say probably Leonard Hearns is where I would go.
I don't know. I think Leonard Duran was even more famous. Earl, you're going to break this rubber match. Which one would you pick?
I like Leonard Hearns. That was just a war.
Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy.
What about Jake LaMotta and Sugar Ray Robinson? One of the best rivalries of all times because they fought, I believe it was 6 times in like 3 years.
Yeah, and how many times did LaMotta win?
I think Raging Bull's inaccurate. I think he might have won twice. Oh, no.
He won once.
But wasn't there a draw? It was a draw.
No, it was 5 against 1. Now, they said every fight was great.
Yeah.
But, you got to do better than 5-1, I think.
And you probably saw these fights because they're like all-time classics. Gotti versus Ward. Mickey Ward, the little Irish guy, versus Arturo Gotti, little Italian guy. They were the 3 best fights ever. They were like Rocky movies.
Understand how he always has to bring up an Irish guy. It always has to come back to Notre Dame or some Irish name, whatever it is, to be Irish. Hey, Glenn. Glenn, you're on the Ron and Fez show. How you doing there, buddy?
Hey, Glenn.
Glenn, what do you say, man?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah.
I can't let any college basketball talk go by without my Kentucky Wildcats versus Louisville.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Would you say that was bigger than Duke, North Carolina?
Probably not. Nobody outside of Kentucky cares about it, but I got to let it go in there.
I don't know. I mean, people do pay attention to Kentucky basketball. That's followed around the country.
Yeah, and so where does Indiana's rival fall into all that? Like, is Indiana Kentucky a rival?
Isn't it Indiana State?
Oh, yeah, it's probably more in-state, yeah.
Kind of an in-state thing. I don't know, though. You can't keep up. There's so many damn teams now. You cannot possibly keep up. Speaking of that, as we go into the Final Four, if you would have put down $1,000 on George Mason to win it all, what would you be looking at now? Could it be $500,000? Because I think it was like 500 to 1 odds.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you're definitely looking at that much. No one would have thought to have done that.
I wonder if some high roller just said, I'm going to take a couple of long shots, throw $1,000 out there, not care about it. Because really, that's the way to win money. You got to come from the back of the pack.
That'll just be amazing if that 11th seed wins this whole thing on Monday.
It will finally replace that damn Villanova team that no one's... After all these years, HBO is still running the Villanova team. It's been like, 20 years?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you will never hear the name Villanova again. And I'm sure everybody in Villanova is praying that George Mason doesn't pull this off. Hey, scumbag, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Fez.
Thanks, scum.
Hey, I just wanted to say I think the best rivalry, at least in my opinion, in pro football is Chicago versus Green Bay. And it works out good because they both suck now, and they were good at one point, but still good rivalry.
Chicago, Green Bay. Everybody loves the game, but I don't know if it's got the same heat as it used to. I mean, pro football has all but destroyed that because they've made the Super Bowl so damn big.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone would actually tune in to see that specifically on a Sunday.
You mean around the country?
Yeah, nationally.
Yeah. Where when you look at the college teams, even if you don't follow basketball, college basketball, you can get drunk and sit there and enjoy the Duke North Carolina game, only because you know how much these two programs despise each other. I want the other one dead.
Yeah, and it's always cool to see, like, if you got, like, a star senior player, whether it's college basketball or college football, if they can finally get a win over their rival.
Right. Brian, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's going on, boys? Happy birthday, Fez.
Thanks.
Ronnie, fellow Delaware County boy, Garnet Valley 95 here. You got to talk to me about the Eagles-Cowboys because it's only going to get worse from here.
Well, Eagles, again, like I said, everybody hates the Cowboys. What you find out around the country is everybody thinks that that's their main rivals.
Yeah, but T.O. now, that changes it, man.
T.O. does change it. Sometimes when a player leaves and goes to another place, everybody that used to love him, it turns into a hate like you can't believe. Like Ron Artest is really booed now when he goes back to Indiana. And you're like, I thought you guys loved him. Why would it turn to hate?
It gives such a nice focal point to the haters.
Here's Nick. Nick, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey, buddy.
Back in the 80s and 70s, it was Nebraska-Oklahoma's biggest rivalry.
You know, people still call some game that happened like in 1970 or 72 the greatest college football game of all time. Yeah. I don't know whether that's true, but it's still thrown up there anytime you see any kind of list.
That's weird because I forgot how big that rivalry used to be.
And for me, it never worked because neither team used to throw a forward pass. You would see literally between both teams 12 to maybe 18 passes attempted a game. Like, I can't fucking watch this 3 yards of cloud of dust.
Just 500-pound corn-fed linemen on each side.
Open it up a little bit, brother. And then they take one of the linemen and make him a fullback. Let's face it. You've got a lineman lined up behind the quarterback every down. 866-RON-0-FEZ, 866-RON-0-FEZ. Fezzy's birthday today. You in a good mood, Fez, or did the subway did it ruin your day? I know you have a tendency of, if there's a little piss in the pool, you're out, and you don't want to play for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I'll just walk away.
Yeah.
I will take my ball and go home if that's the way it's going to be.
I'll go just the opposite and say, I know there's a lot of chlorine in this pool. Let's keep on swimming.
So, yeah, I'm actually feeling better than I thought I would.
Should I cancel the dinner I put together for you tonight?
No, don't cancel the
dinner. Is that off?
As long as it's not a roast.
Well, you know what? I hate a roast. I don't even fucking get it. Who did I see was going to be get a roast this year? Oh, Jerry Lewis.
Yeah, Jerry Lewis getting roasted a third time, I think.
They're going to line up that waterhead for a roast, And it's not funny because the man's going to be dead within 6 months to a year.
Yeah, do you make fun of the medicine he took that made him into a beach ball? Do you make fun of MDA?
You know what? I would love to get a copy of this because I never saw it run, and I think it ran on TV somewhere. But Chevy Chase has never really worked again since he got roasted. He showed up at the Friars roast, and apparently none of his friends did. It were just professional comedians. He thought he would go and be roasted, and it would be a lot of the old SNL gang. And I guess he had turned off so many people over the years that nobody wanted to show up for this. So a bunch of just real gunslinger comics showed up and just fucking drilled him about shit like your career's over, you've been an asshole and a jerk off. And he sat there and took it and apparently went home so depressed that he just went upstate New York somewhere and hasn't come out yet.
That is hysterical because at that point, it's not done with love. It's just done with pure venom, and it's not the guys that you grew up in the business with ball busting each other. It's all one-sided.
Yeah, it's exactly true. And again, I don't like if we were to do a roast for you, it wouldn't be the stuff that we even do on the air. It would be stuff that you really don't like about yourself. That's the problem with it. It's not like, hey, we'll have fun with, the stuff that he's comfortable with. As we'll find out what he really doesn't like and hit him with that.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about the bad birthday he had in the 3rd grade when Mother showed up with coconut-covered cupcakes that nobody wanted.
No, you think that's what they would do. No, it would be 10 times worse. It would be something that you wouldn't even say now in a joking manner. That's the problem with these damn things. Hey, Wayne. Wayne, you're on Ron and Fez. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Fezzy.
Thank you, Wayne.
Hey, you guys forgot a rivalry, man. The Pats and Dolphins.
Again, the Dolphins, because they were good at one time, everybody feels like they're their rivals. I mean, probably even Tampa Bay feels like if you had to ask people in Tampa what their real rivals are, they'd say the Dolphins, even though the Dolphins don't know that.
Yeah, because it's the whole cross-state. It's the proximity of it.
Right. But, again, the Dolphins think that people love the Dolphins, and they have no idea. Still, after all these years, they're hated just because of what happened in 72.
Yeah, the Dolphins are the Cowboys of that division, the AFC East.
Jose, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, hey, I got a rivalry for you, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Manchester United and Liverpool, one of the fucking greatest rivalries ever.
See, we probably don't even understand how big that stuff gets over there because I feel like in England, they're 10 times crazier than we are here in the States. They're 10 times crazier about movies and music, and then their football is way nuttier than our football.
Yeah, with those rivalries, the cities or the countries or whatever might as well actually go to war with each other, as fanatical as the fans are.
And another thing, like you're talking in state and all, everybody's close there. So you can easily take a 1-hour train ride to go see the away game. It's not a big deal where you can only watch on TV. And they just get nuts there, right?
Oh, definitely. If people lose their lives, they get lynched.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be really, really careful if you're even a soccer player over there because they take that shit so serious. I know Beckham got a red card a couple of years ago. He had to leave the country for a while. And that guy's fucking beloved. But he did one stupid thing. I guess they were playing Germany or something. I don't know. I can't keep up with it. But they literally said, like the security came to him, his master Poe, and said, why don't you go to the States where no one knows you? Spend 2 or 3 months and let this thing blow over. Yeah, they're going to burn your house down and stuff like that, but you don't be in it. That's the important thing.
The hooligans take it so personally.
It's
like they're getting spit in their faces.
Well, they actually physically do spit in each other's faces. But you never even see chicks at any of those games. It's just guys at those games. And then this is something we don't get at all in the United States. They start singing. You just hear, there's no music, and you'll just start to hear 90,000 people singing some odd bar song that we can't even comprehend.
Just real foul-mouthed, too.
Now, is this year the World Cup?
Yeah, we get World Cup.
I know Argentina, Brazil, scary game because it matters to them because, let's face it, there's not a lot going on for those countries. They don't have a lot of things to be proud of. There's always trouble or whatever. So you get something like this, what we think of as just another stupid soccer game, and it's everything to them. It's life and death. It's like every sporting event we have put into one.
Yeah, where it could end up with civil unrest in the streets, where governments have to be worried about the outcome of these games.
Remember when we beat Colombia and they went and killed the goalkeeper or somebody? Somebody got murdered because we upset them.
Was that the own goal?
Yeah, somebody kicked it into their own goal. They tried to kick it back to the goalkeeper, went over his head. And later, one of the cartels caught the guy and killed him. And they've killed a lot of the refs down there, where somebody will have a bad call, and they'll find out where he lives, and they'll cut his throat.
You must just absolutely love the sport to decide, I want to be a referee. Where
Why
my
would
life
you?
could be on the line.
Why would you? I think I would rather be a judge in Iraq than I would be a South American referee.
It makes no sense. It must be the hardest job to find people to fill.
I have no idea. They should probably wear masks where you don't know who the referee is for any given game. And you know down there, like in Colombia, they must be able to get to the refs and say, look, I know you can't be bribed, but I have your wife, and she's going to be released after the win. I don't want you to worry about that. She'll be released with a big pile of cocaine. But if not, I'll send your wife back to you. Every Tuesday, I'll send a different piece for the next 3 years.
And that's every day, because the other team has his daughter.
Right. Just insane. Here is Joe. Joe, you're on Ron and Fez.
What's up, Joe?
Hey, guys. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
Lions basically can't win a game, so I'd say Lions versus Victory would be a good rivalry.
Yeah, you know, the sad thing for you is, like, the rest of the country has never paid even the slightest bit of attention to the Lions. And that's when you had the greatest running back of all time. You still found ways of losing.
I know. They're amazing like that.
Yeah, even back in the 90s when Detroit would get into the playoffs, no one had a second thought of worrying, is this Detroit's year?
Yeah, they'll be out early.
That was the team you wanted to meet in the NFC.
Fezzy, we got a big party tomorrow night is your birthday party we're throwing for you.
I am so looking forward to my birthday party. I love these things. We're going to be at McFadden's starting at 9 o'clock tomorrow night. That's 2nd Avenue in Manhattan.
And I know you've got some special guests showing up that you don't know about. People like, don't tell Fezzy, but I'm coming. And I just want to feel like he'll know you're going to be there. There's liquor. But I just let them feel like it's a big deal.
My friends that drink, I'm not going to be shocked to see them.
Yeah. No matter how far you have to drive.
So these things are a blast. Come on out to McFadden's tomorrow night.
And I know for a fact you're getting a present. And I've seen this present. And I will only say you've never seen anything about it in your life. You've never seen anything like it.
So I'm going to get it tomorrow night at McFadden's.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm even more excited to go.
I was hoping you'd be getting it here on the show today. But then it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And I don't want to ruin it and have you thinking about it.
Yeah, but now I'm wound up. I'll probably get to McFadden's like at 4 in the afternoon or something. Just sitting there waiting for, like Peter Brady, waiting for everyone to come to his party. Just can't wait.
And yes, I know it's April Fool's, but yes, we're going to be there. Have you ever heard Fez and I do an April Fool's joke in our lives?
And what would Ronnie and I do? Get together on Saturday night and just giggle about it? It makes no sense.
There's only 2 April Fool's jokes that work. One if you're 7, and you say there's no school, and I'm just lying, you're going. And then the other one is to act like the radio station is flip format.
That always works for me.
I am sure that's being done all over the goddamn country. Oh, what a stupid bit. Everybody knows it's April Fool's, you idiot. All right, we're talking about these the greatest rivals that you come out there, and we have an author ready to go.
Will Blythe, he's going to talk to us. His book is called To Hate Like This Is to Be Happy Forever. That's about the Duke-UNC rivalry.
Will, welcome to the Ron and Fez show. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Very good. Tell us a little bit about how crazy it gets there.
How crazy it gets?
Yeah.
You got people like my mother who are otherwise, what you would call good Christian ladies, right?
Uh-huh.
And she's shrieking and screaming all sorts of things that fortunately we can say on the air on this show, I guess.
Right.
At Mike Krzyzewski. I mean, it's just it is a rivalry that people that are otherwise kind and modest become absolutely raving maniacs, full of hatred.
And is it a great basketball town anyway? Do people always into basketball, or is it just about these two schools?
No, people are into basketball throughout the entire year, but basically they're always, recruiting. If you're a North Carolina fan, you're following both your own recruiting and you're following Duke's.
It's that big.
It's a constant comparison.
So everybody down there knows who the top high school players are in the country.
Absolutely. People follow high school basketball down there like it was Major League Baseball.
At what time would you say it peaked where it almost blew over the top in North Carolina?
That's the thing. It's like that every single season.
Really?
And when North Carolina had its down year, when it went 8-20, it didn't lessen the animosity at all towards Duke. It actually probably made it even more intense. And then when the two teams are, sort of roughly equal in terms of their, their records, then it's equally powerful. There's just no time since Krzyzewski came in the early '80s. It has been an absolute blood feud.
And the two schools are so close, right?
Yeah, they're 8 miles apart, but they're so close in terms of geography, but culturally they couldn't be more different.
In what way?
Well, I mean, with North Carolina, you have North Carolina Duke is like you have public versus private,
right?
In-state versus out of state, and in some of our opinions, good versus evil. You've also got this kind of the sort of air of privilege and elitism that I think Duke symbolizes for a lot of people against something a little more populist, say with North Carolina. Now the players, they're just the hired, they're the foot soldiers,
right?
They don't have particularly strong feelings about that aspect. They want to win, but for the people in the state, it is really an absolute war every single year.
Now, if you happen to be an in-state player, an in-state like high school kid, where would the kid most likely want to land?
There's almost no question about it. They'd go to North Carolina.
Right.
Now, that's why when Chadwick Randolph, who did not have the most illustrious career at Duke, but when he signed with Duke, it was a watershed moment because he was a kid from Raleigh, North Carolina. And at that time, I don't know if people remember, but he was pretty much a consensus top 5 high school prospect. He chose Duke, and it was like a revolution. It was like one of those things where the stars were falling from the skies. Because up to that point, you had people like Michael Jordan, North Carolina boy, James Worthy, North Carolina boy. I mean, all the way back, they basically tended to go to North Carolina. And on the rare instances where they didn't do that, like say David Thompson, they went to North Carolina State.
Now, is there any other two sports that they get this way about them there, or is it just the basketball rival?
Well, NASCAR is pretty big.
Yeah, but I mean between the two schools.
Oh, between the two schools?
Yeah.
They want to beat each other in everything. I mean, the women's programs now in basketball are really they have a very savage rivalry.
That's going to be a scary looking fight.
And there have been some really tense moments in those games. It gets pretty nasty. But yeah, I think all the sports. It used to be in the 40s and the 50s, long before Duke Vital, that the football programs were the most intense rivals. But once basketball became big in the state, starting in the 1950s, when every case went to North Carolina State, ever since then, I think the basketball rivalry has really been the thing. Although the Duke-North Carolina rivalry, in that respect, there were times when North Carolina State was North Carolina's big rivalry, when Thompson was there. But for the most part, it has been steady, consistent, and incredibly enjoyable animosity.
Now, in your opinion, this is the peak of college basketball for the whole country, as in terms of fan base and stuff like that, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I know the fans in Indiana are intense, and I know the fans in Kentucky are intense. In both cases, probably as intense as they are, say, in North Carolina. But you don't really have two schools that are 8 miles apart that year in and year out are consistently great, going at each other tooth and nail, that represent such different aspects of sort of the American identity. You've got a class war played out on the basketball court every single game that they play each other. And I just don't think there's anything like that in Indiana or Kentucky. As great as those states are in terms of their interest in basketball, I just don't think there's that kind of a rivalry.
You know, when I look up news stuff on Fark.com,
Yeah.
they'll always have a Duke sucks somewhere, almost in every sports thing. And I'm like, Jesus, we're 6 months away. Let go of it for a minute.
No, but you see, some things never go out of season.
Yeah.
And hating Duke never goes out of season. I mean, and the fact of the matter is, it used to be, I don't know how far back in this you go, but in the 1980s, Duke was, for a brief, shining moment, America's team.
Is that right?
1986, when they went against Louisville and Never Nervous Purvis Ellison, they were considered the charming, the white guys, really. But they were the charming America's team, articulate and so on and so on. Somehow, in the last 15 years, 20 years, that's all changed. And I think Duke is America's most hated team, the most despised team, in college basketball anyway.
The book is To Hate Like This is to Be Happy Forever, about the Duke-UNC rivalry. Thanks, Will. Will Blythe is the author.
I really appreciate you guys having me on.
See you later, buddy.
Thank you, man.
All right, that was pretty cool. You know what? It's good to have something like that in your life, though. I don't know what it is. It just makes the seasons pass better, time passes better. It's good to have a sports hate. It's definitely better than to have racism in your life. You know what I mean? It's better off to say I hate Duke than it is to say I hate Mexicans, and go through life basically like the blowhard does, where you've picked out some people's racial backgrounds or ethnic or creed, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's not a fun hate, blowhard.
Yeah, blowhard. And, let's not act like you're not a Viking to begin with. So you have to be very careful. When you do get a sports hate, for the most part, I think it's healthy. Now, if your team loses and you miss work the next day because you're so depressed, then I think you've taken it too far. But I really do think it's good to have some kind of a sports thing in your life. Hey, Jeremy, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
I just moved down here from New York probably about 2 years ago, down to Raleigh.
Uh-huh.
And it is ridiculous how insane these people are down here about ACC basketball.
You were just shocked by it when you got there?
Oh, it's I compare it to English soccer fans.
Yeah.
Like, my girlfriend is an NC State graduate, and it's more of an in-state thing, but she won't even wear baby blue.
Right.
It's an awful, terrible color to everybody down here. These people get in fights at bars. It's
so
ridiculous.
It's almost like a Blood Crips thing, where
really
you can't
is.
wear the wrong colors.
Yeah, it really is. It's ridiculous.
What do they do for new babies there? New baby boys?
I have no idea.
All right, thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
They dress him like a heel, Fezzy. Dress him like a heel. Hey, David, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, I'm a student at UNC now, and I'm telling you, the Duke people have a reputation from being these assholes from New Jersey. Everybody's down here with their $80,000 cars, you know. And the people in Raleigh, everybody at NC State seems to think they have a rivalry with us, but nobody here really cares.
So it's really, I don't understand your point.
Well, it's even though a state tends to be like a lot of times the Duke UNC rivalries have been really lopsided over the years. Like we'll have better games with state a lot of times. Like during in the 80s, we kind of killed Duke, and then more recently Duke's killed us a lot of the past few years. But we had this really irrational hatred of everybody from Duke just because they have a reputation for being just a bunch of cocksuckers.
All right, thank you very much. And you know what? You get the rich kids in your sights and take them down. That's what life is about. Take them down. Only one kid claps. Remember how he was writing in his notebook? To me, that was the funniest part. But yeah, you do kind of hate rich kids. There's nothing you can do about that. Hey, Turtle, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
That last guy is full of shit. I graduated from Duke in the mid-'90s. That last caller was full of shit. He can suck my ass. UNC licks.
All right,
They
so
stink.
now did you hate them before you went there, Turtle?
No, I could have cared less. I still don't care about them. I mean, they suck. It's a shit school for the idiots in North Carolina. That's where they all go.
And plus,
They're
your dad.
smart enough to go. What's that?
Plus, your dad gave you a lot of money, so why should you care one way or another?
Oh, listen, man. I went on the GI Bill and I worked to put myself through school. So,
but did you feel like you were behind enemy lines down there since so many locals hated everybody from Duke?
No, not really. I mean, Duke is a good school. I went there for the education
Right.
and to learn and try to make something.
And not caring so much about basketball.
How weird.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But as you get there, it does eat into you. You go absolutely crazy for it. This tournament, I took my kids, painted them blue.
Yeah, that's a
sat him down to watch the tournament, and listen, we adopted a black kid, and I had to paint him blue. That took a couple gallons of paint.
I'm sure you had to get a couple of coats down before he would switch.
That's abuse.
No, did you
don't
adopt this?
understand.
Yeah, Turtle.
Pardon
Did
me?
you adopt this black kid in hopes of one day getting him in Duke on a basketball scholarship?
No, to be honest with you, I hope he goes to Notre Dame and plays football. But that's neither here nor there.
Wouldn't that be funny if Americans just started adopting African kids, like really tall African kids?
Just so they could send some ringers into there.
Yeah,
For the payday.
Yeah. All right. See you later, bro.
Now that's a basketball fan.
Here's John. John, you're on Ron and Fez. How you doing, buddy? What do you say, John?
Hey, what's up, Ron? What's up, Fez?
Hey, man.
I just want to tell that Dookie to suck my dick.
Oh, you still hate him, huh?
Duke.
You hate Dookies.
Tar Heels roll.
All right, thank you
You
very much.
remember that.
You put it very well. I would hate to be called a Dookie. I had no idea that was even the gimmick.
That hurts.
Yeah, I mean, it's shit. Let's face it, he's calling you shit. I don't know. Maybe I missed something by never going to college. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't just the education that I missed. Of course, I'm not like Dave, who went to a school that really no one's ever heard of before. And he's happy because they finished 65th this year in the tournament.
Monmouth Hawks all the way, huh? Gave Villanova a real scare, in my opinion.
Oh, by the way, I got some emails yesterday. You went to what high school, Dave?
Christian Brother CBA.
And Fez, you'll be glad to know this. I hear that our own Eastside Dave was one of the drama kids.
No, it wasn't.
And this guy told me that Dave was in Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
That's totally untrue.
Your hair could have been used for the Technicolor.
I was a totally gay editor of the poetry magazine.
What?
I was the editor of the poetry magazine, but I would never get on stage ever.
Yeah. How do you edit the poetry magazine? It was an all-boys school, right?
Yeah. Boy, don't falter, boy.
If you're in an all-boys school, who writes the poetry? I thought only the girls wrote the poetry.
It's poetry and short stories, and it's called The Arister.
Do you got some of your high school poems? That you can bring in?
I have old Aristers, and you can see my my work.
Bring them in next week. I'd love to read some of your stuff.
I wrote a short story called The Token, and it's just the guy walking around, walking around the streets in New York. It's so high school. Like, I thought I was doing Hemingway and everything, and I'm using the symbolism of why racism is bad. It's really fucking garbage.
Now, at the all-boys school, in the drama department, did you have to play girl parts sometimes in the school plays?
Hi, everybody. I'm a girl.
Eastside Dave is Lady Macbeth.
They got chicks.
You know what? I have the feeling that you were in some kind of Captain My Captain school where you all stood on top of the desk because Robin Williams was getting fired.
It's the exact same school as Dead Poets Society.
Was it really?
100%. Except it's not a boarding school, but everything else, it's like all about tradition, and that kind of stuff.
People call you McDonald instead of Dave?
There was
a lot of last name stuff.
Macco and McDonald, but Macco was a big thing, and Dave. No, a lot of Dave, But my brother Mike, we called him Brother Bundy, 6'6", 350 pounds, and he would he grabbed me by the throat and threw me around, and
till you finally had sex with him. Hey, Scott, you're on Ron and Fez.
CBA is all freaking drama club. It's like gayest high school in the area.
When his dad wouldn't let him be in the Shakespeare play, he killed himself.
Yeah.
I want you in business.
They didn't call it CB Gay for nothing.
Was that the nickname the other schools had for you, CB Gay?
Yeah, CB Gay was the witty thing there. CB Gay, and then we would chant back, "Your chicks want us."
That's tough. Was that when you were in the cave painting your faces?
Great school, man.
Heather, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
I actually was in CBA plays. I went to RBC, which was the Catholic school that had girls in it, and the RBC drama program sucked. but CBA was actually a good one, and they imported girls into them, and I was one of them.
She went to RBC. Good for you. See, and isn't it? Be honest. Didn't RBC chicks really love CBA guys? We were kind of mysterious and whatnot, you know.
I dated a CBA guy right up until I almost married one, actually.
Thank
you. So you found out he was gay?
He was not gay, but I did leave him at the altar.
And be honest, our basketball team annihilated you every time we played.
Yeah.
Was your team all white guys?
Team was better. What?
We had all white guys except for one guy every single year, and his name would always be Daryl. Here's our black Daryl for this year.
All right, thanks, Heather.
Uh-huh.
All right, see you later. So you were part of the drama club. That's great, Dave.
That's a total lie.
Ryan, you're on Ron and Fez.
Oh, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
Yo, Dave, man, you had the gayest school ever, bro.
Do you live in New Jersey?
Yeah, bro, I went to North, Toms River. And I wouldn't be so proud about those Red Bank Catholic girls, man. Come on.
What are you talking about? Nice skirts, plaid skirts, the stockings, the whole deal. Toms River, my friend. Not very healthy water. What? You guys are drinking nuclear water.
Hey, Toms River did win that Little League World Series that year, so you got to give them all the props.
They also had like a nuclear meltdown where all the people are, drinking sewage from their faucets.
You can't blame the people on that. This is what I heard from somebody. Dave was in the drama club, and his thing was school douchebag. School douchebag was the way it was described to me. I had tears coming out of my eyes.
How do you pick
You
up
weren't
that
a hipster?
thing?
Time out. Did this guy really? Was he in my grade?
Yes.
Okay, tell me his name. I was vice president, and I played on the JV basketball and baseball teams. Hit 384
in JV.
Yeah, in JV.
Why are you going to brag about JV?
Because I had to either choose baseball or the Arister, and I thought that would be my,
Yeah, but you don't brag about what you hit on the fucking JV team.
Well, that's the best I did.
Nobody wants. That's like saying, Jesus Christ, I was a great ball player. I hit fucking 345 in Reading. If you don't make the bigs, you can't brag about it. Earl, back me up on this one.
Oh, absolutely. I don't even acknowledge that I spent a year on the JV team.
I know. I did the same thing, and it's just like, keep it quiet.
Earl never played baseball. Never. Anyway, CBA, great skills. I played basketball, baseball, and then I was vice president of the student council.
Were you a senior playing JV?
No.
Get out if you were. Get out.
No, I wasn't. Because
that's wrong. It should only be for sophomores.
Sophomore, man. And I was a great first baseman.
Then why didn't you make varsity? While you're bragging about yourself, why weren't you varsity?
The real reason is because they had these things called summer teams, and they would invite, the people who they would think would make the varsity the next year, and they didn't invite me for a summer team. It didn't mean that I wasn't going to make varsity. It means that I could have come back as a junior and played JV and whatnot, but I felt so insulted. I was like a major leaguer in my own high school. I was like, you don't invite the great Dave McDonald?
You're Barry Sanders. Now, you walked away in your prime.
To go to varsity poetry.
Say, you
captain, my captain.
You don't want me on that summer ball squad. You ain't getting Davy Mack on your springtime fall ball squad, or springtime squad, whatever the fucking lingo is.
Yeah, you don't sit around and brag about JV stats. I got to tell you the truth.
Well, 384 is 384, Ronnie. I don't care if it's wiffle ball.
It is not. What if you played in the retard league? You can't brag about it.
I'm so excited for McFadden's tomorrow night. Now people can meet the JV champ. Press the flesh at McFadden's.
That's why he signed number 7, Mickey Mantle. He was my hero.
Are you going to get drunk tomorrow night again?
Yes.
Because here's the weird thing about Dave. We've known Dave for a few years, but we've only known him drunk. And then he got a hold of Wiki, and let's face it, behind our backs. And Wiki's like, yeah, I understand. I got this guy. He's got a great resume, 3 or 4 other things. The other satellite company wants him. But he says he loves you guys and he knows you guys, Dave McDonald. And I'm like, who? Dave McDonald. And I'm like, I don't know any Dave McDonald. I can't tell you whether he's good or not. Later I find out it's Eastside Dave. Somehow he drives down to Washington, impresses Wiki, and yet we don't know that it's really Eastside Dave, the guy that we've seen drunk every time we've gone out somewhere.
professional, Don Wicklund. I slept outside his house. I did whatever I had to do.
Yes, but you wrote 384 down on the fucking thing, and he thought it was varsity numbers. He didn't know it was JV.
I just said baseball. What? That's a lie?
You
Baseball.
probably could have hit 300 batting left-handed. It didn't matter. He could switch hit down there and do well.
This is Eastside Dave at any bar night we've seen him at. Wait.
Mr. B, potato skins? Mr. B, potato skins?
Wait, one more thing, Ron.
See, he's doing it already.
Wait, one more thing. I always have some story about some bad, sitcom I saw. I'm trying to talk to him about Three's Company or something. Didn't you think Jack was funny?
Jim, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Happy birthday, Fezzy.
Thanks, Jim.
I just want to let Eastside Dave know I hit 786 on my co-ed softball team last year.
Is that something to brag about, co-ed ball?
Hey!
Because JV, let's face it, is almost co-ed ball.
That's a great job.
How did you do in intramural basketball? You never brought up those numbers.
We didn't get your T-ball stats, Eastside.
I played real basketball, and I was unhappy with my career. Let's just leave it at that. I fucking
What positions
shoot,
do you play?
Like Drazen Petrovic. I played as sort of a small forward shooting guard type. Really
and
small
shooting
forward.
is the thing there because he's a fucking chucker.
Yeah. Oh my God! If you put me out on the 3-point line today, I will hit 6 out of 10 3-pointers.
Yes, Gunnar Hetling could do the same thing, yet you couldn't trust this guy if you're playing a real game because he's a chucker.
My ball handling skills were shoddy at best.
When you get the nickname Gunner, nobody wants you on that team. You can't feed that guy.
I wore number 8 from the late great Drazen Petrovic of New Jersey Nets.
You're just insane. You're seriously insane.
I can shoot, Mr. B. I can still shoot the lights out of the gym. Trust me.
Yes, but that don't make you a ball player.
Maybe me and you one day can play horse, huh? In the city.
Put it up right here. Let's put up a hoop right here.
Play with paper wads.
Let me tell you something, Chokey. I have the feeling that if you're out in your driveway, you could shoot all night long. The fucking second money goes up on it, and that goddamn rolled up sock appears in your throat.
No, you're absolutely right. And I also keep my rim at home.
Ew.
I keep it 4 inches taller, so it's the biggest cheat thing of all time.
Yeah, you're just you live in a fantasy world. You live in a fantasy world. Fuzzy, here's somebody to wish you happy birthday, and it's a guy, one of your former best friends, and I know you're still really fond of him. Hey, how you doing, man?
All right, happy birthday, Fez. How are you?
There he is. There's your man, Fuzzy.
Who's my man?
Chunks!
Chunks!
What's up, Fez?
What are you doing, Chunks?
I just want to call and say happy birthday to you. Good luck this Saturday in the game.
Chunks, this is everything to you and I. You graduated from George Mason. I attended George Mason, as you know.
When did you attend George Mason?
The Bowie concert. You know I was at the Bowie concert.
You went to one show at the Patriot Center.
It's a fucking great show. He did all the old stuff. He did a medley from Stardust that had people crying. Chunks, how are you feeling about this game? Are you nervous, wreck?
Oh, yeah. I can't believe they gotten this far. You know, I thought, they got to the Sweet 16. That's great. Oh, they got to the Elite 8. I never thought they'd beat UConn. And I actually had to turn it off when it went overtime.
Oh, that was sickening for me, too. I watched that whole game standing up. First of all, I can't tell you how good the Bowie show was. And then second of all, to have a connection with the Final Four team, for me, is just unbelievable.
I have done nothing but root against George Mason the entire tournament.
Why?
Just because of my years in Fairfax that I didn't care for.
Is it an anti-Chunks thing?
That has a lot to do with it,
yeah. Hey, Chunks, I heard our other old intern's in a little bit of trouble.
Oh, who, Puck?
Yeah, what happened there?
I don't know. I heard he got arrested or something. Maybe, I think he was allegedly diddling little boys or something like that.
No, don't be rude. What did he really do?
I have no clue. I think he mouthed off or something or hit somebody.
Is he still inside?
Yeah, he's still there. I think he works for Rosenberg.
Yeah, but I thought he was still inside in jail. Somebody told me.
Oh yeah, I think so. I mean, I didn't really care for the kid too much. He kind of annoyed me, so I don't care what happens to him. They can ass rape him all they want in there, for all I care.
Yeah, he didn't get along with the other guys. Who was your guy? You were more with J-Dubs and El Jefe, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
They were your buddies.
That was cool. I also like Chapin and definitely Sid.
Now you're down there with those guys now in Florida still?
Yep, still down here. They haven't fired me yet, but I mean, let's face it, it's probably going to happen any day.
Not getting along with them too well?
Oh, no, I'm getting along well, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the brightest of kids, so.
No, I know. You're not sharp.
Oh, you got that George Mason sheepskin to show off.
Yeah, but how many years did it take him to get his AA? Like 7.5.
Only 6.5. But
6.5.
Yeah, 4.5 longer.
Yeah, his parents thought it was for a doctorate, but it was really just working on the AA.
I was in my third year when all of the seniors for George Mason came in as freshmen. So, not feeling too good about that.
And you still didn't do well picking up women?
No,
Yeah.
still not. Not there at all. Not here, nowhere, but what are you going to do?
All right, Chunks. Well, congratulations to your team, and I'm excited for you. I'll be pulling for you guys tomorrow.
Hey, thanks a lot. Happy birthday, Fez.
And Fez, why don't you hop on the bandwagon with me and Chunks and some of the alumni from George Mason?
I will never cheer for George Mason, and especially not against the Florida Gators.
Did I tell you that Bowie did Life on Mars? And I fucking looked around and people crying their eyes out.
That has nothing to do
Did
with the college.
Did I just say ISIS? What? There was a lot of college kids there. I felt part of it. I felt like I was part of something that night.
You were campus life.
You know, it was that experience. I mean, when I look back on my college days, going to that show.
College day.
Well, I did used to go up and sell speed at Penn State during the times of the year. I'd show up there with a goddamn trunk full of speed. Exams are coming, kids. Just driving around. You have all this fucking speed in old Sunbeam bags, selling them out the window like you're the guy that... hold on, listen to this. This is my Mason days. We're going to do it, boys.
This is the fight song.
Let's go, Patriots.
Hell yeah.
This is it. Stand up, everybody, from Mason.
Now she walks through her sunken dream to the seats with the clearest view. And she's hooked to the silver screen. But the film is a sad thing.
He also did Heroes that night, Fez. Scary Monsters.
That's all great, but it's not going to make me cheer for the Patriots of George Mason.
This was the weirdest thing when I was at that show. So we'd just been down in Northern Virginia for a while, and Bowie comes to town, you know, it was a happy night for me. And Bowie on stage made fun of the area and says to people, "How can you live here?" I swear to God. And I yelled out, 6 months ago I was living 1.5 miles away from your house, motherfucker.
I never would have quit cheering.
We're going to do it, Chunks.
Yeah, we are, definitely. I'm not
going to
worried
beat the
about
Gators.
it. They beat a lot of good teams.
Yeah.
Exactly. Fez, you got to jump on the bandwagon.
Get on with us, Fez. Chunks, move over and let Fez on.
There's no room on that bandwagon with Chunks on it.
All right, Chunks.
All right, guys, take it easy.
And, buddy, stop beating up the other radio stations. We've got pictures of you guys up here at XM, so you can't even get in the doors now.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Real radio has a reputation of ass kickers. You guys are the Hells Angels of radio, and you're making everybody else nervous.
We got to let them know.
Fez has a stent, and I don't want anybody punching him.
I can't take a heart punch at this point in my life.
Give me some volume, Earl.
I wrote it 10 times or more. It's about to be writ again. As I ask her to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, look at those cavemen go.
It's like an old lady singing.
It's the freakiest show.
On Golden Pond.
Oh man, leading on the wrong guy. Oh man, wonder if you'll ever know.
It's like a Harry Potter song.
It's in the best of the show.
He needs you old fool as the lyric.
Life on Mars. You old poop.
All right, we got a break here. What time we have our guests coming in?
It should be any time now.
Yeah, any minute.
Oh, jeez. Do me a favor, Dave. Don't fuck this up. Okay. So hopefully he's coming in 866-766-0339 to talk with the great George Romero. That should be coming up in just a little bit. We'll break now. Be back. Ron and Fez Show.
XM 202.
Ron and Fez show. Well, it is Fezzy's birthday, and we're throwing a big party for him tomorrow night.
That's going to be at McFadden's. Everyone turn out to say happy birthday, Fezzy. McFadden's 2nd Avenue in New York City.
Dave, you also need those other headphones in here, so don't keep fucking around with that. Because I gave you mine during that last break, but, you know, you got 3 mics, you got to have 3 headsets. I hate to teach these guys radio on the radio, but I know no other way about it. You wanted to thank some people for some presents that they sent?
Yeah, thank our buddy Dr. Steve. He sent me some really cool comic books. The Powers Comics collection, a hardcover he sent me for my birthday.
You know what? You had something coming in from Greg from Buffalo that I was supposed to intercept for you, and then the guys never gave it to me. Make sure one of the interns looks around the office for that, because I don't want him not to have that.
And then also thanks to Ogre, who sent over Junction BBQ. That's his barbecue business. Earlier this week. So that's junctionbbq.com, that website.
You know, I got to tell you the truth. Ogre may have the best sauce I've ever tasted in my life, Fezzy, and I don't play games about barbecue sauce. I'm not like Earl where, I don't care what kind of barbecue sauce I have. I'm very particular. This may be the best of all time. I wouldn't mind putting Ogre into one of those contests. You know that you can go out on the road now for grilling contests?
I had no idea you could go out there and just compete, all year round.
It's like NASCAR. They do it every weekend somewhere. So you go out there, you cook, and then they pick on who has the best chicken, who has the best sauce, best ribs. It's my dream for one day me and you to get back out on the road, and all we're doing is grilling every weekend.
That's nice. I like that idea. So junctionbbq.com is where you can check out Ogre stuff. And like you said, it is my birthday. Also a big day for Foundry Music Jeff and Angry Missy Baby. It's their wedding day. So they're getting married tonight.
I can't, I don't want to jinx anybody, but it just seems like the biggest mistake I've ever heard in my life. I just don't see either one of these two being happy. I hope it works out, though.
Yeah, they had come in here weeks ago when we found out that Jeff likes to have a little finger in the bung action.
Well, I wouldn't bring that up on his wedding day. I don't think that's anybody's business.
That should be part of the toast tonight.
Here's a finger for you. So Stankfinger is finally getting married. Oh, boy.
He's taking a bride. Who'd have thought?
Yeah. Yeah, you beat the odds with that one, big man. You beat the odds with that one. Hey, Rawlash, you're on the Ron and Fez show. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Rawlash.
Hey.
Go ahead, buddy.
Hey, I asked Robbie how's he like running the romper room today. Seems like he's got to tell Earl and Eastside there everything to do today.
I noticed that, Raw, and I don't want it to be in that position. For some reason, if I could get the Earl that I talk to at night about the next day's show, if I could get that guy on the air, we'd be set, Fez.
Like yesterday after the show, Earl is just rapid fire. He looked like Fred Flintstone on the phones. Whose baby is that? What's your angle? I'll buy that.
Right. He's doing terrific off air. Now, there's a problem with George Romero. Earl, you can't find him. Is that the deal?
Yes, he's running a few minutes late. He should be here momentarily.
But the problem we have is you had somebody else booked straight up at 1 o'clock, right?
Yes.
So what are you going to do about that?
We'll work that out behind the scenes.
All right. So I don't want, I don't want to rush one or rush the other, but, I don't want to blow anybody off either. But anyway, you are doing terrific off the air, but you got to be off the air, Earl, but you want to be a little more authoritative on the air.
Will do, sir.
See, that's the problem. You don't call me sir.
That's not authoritative to call someone else sir.
Yeah, that's not what you're looking for. You've got to be the authority. You've got to be like, Ron, here's where we're going. This is what's happening. But it seems like you're coming around hat in hand.
We should be calling you sir.
Yeah.
I just respect you guys, that's all.
You don't need to respect us. We're co-workers.
I've got all the respect I need.
Seriously, I do.
I'll be Shaw.
You know what? I feel the same way. Mr. Bennington is my father, sir. Call me Ronnie B. I don't know why, it's one thing like if you try to make up a nickname for somebody, but when it's just to play off their name, it's more annoying than anything.
Oh yeah, Nutsy Eastside was all excited that his nickname in high school was Mecco. People playing off of McDonald.
I'm sure it was douchebag. I'm sure it was.
School douchebag.
Douchebag, the drama queen.
And you know it was Ronald McDonald with that red hair of his. Who the fuck does he think he's kidding?
It had to be. And I'm sure he had big hair back in those days, still. Hey, here's a friend of yours wants to say happy birthday. How you doing, darling?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Kathleen.
Kathleen from the Bronx?
Yeah, you got it, man.
I guessed it.
Yeah, I know. I didn't do like a voice or anything to disguise it. I don't know what the fuck.
No, it's not Halloween, honey. It's not like, hello, Fez, trying to guess who I am on your birthday.
Is that David Bowie singing again?
Here's the life on Mars.
All right. Anyway, that's it, really.
I want to point this out to you, Fez. Kathleen from the BX is also a graduate of George Mason, much like myself.
You were there one night, Ronnie.
One special night, Fezzy. Seems that way now. Looking back on it, it all seems like it was just one beautiful night.
So when we look at the George Mason grads compared to, like, let's say Harvard grads,
right.
We got Kathleen from the Bronx in chunks.
Hey.
That's not bad.
Lining up.
That's not anything to put down.
I don't know. I hated every moment at that school, so I don't know. I've been, like, kind of maintaining, like, this aloof attitude about the whole, like, you know, their success and everything, but I have to admit I'm kind of rooting for them, too.
That's the best way, Kathleen. Just snub it. Act like it's not even happening.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do, but at the same time, you know, I'm watching the games and stuff, and I'm like, oh, my God, motherfuckers.
I know. It does drive you crazy because in basketball, there's no such thing as a comfortable lead. You know that these leads in that sport can just disappear in moments.
So, Kathleen, we're going to see you and Bri at McFadden's tomorrow night, right?
Yep. Yes, definitely. I can't wait.
And, Kathleen, one of your real heroes has just walked into the studios. Mr. George Romero is here. Nice to see you, sir.
Hi.
Welcome to the Ron and Fez show.
Hi, George.
How are you?
Nice to be here. Hiya.
People are so excited about having you stop by. You're here for the at the convention in town, right? For Big Apple Comics?
Big Apple Comics, yeah.
Yeah. How does that work out for you? Everybody who is a zombie fan, a horror film fan, shows up. What does your audience look like when you get to meet them?
Well, many of them look like zombies because they go get the funky threads.
I would imagine slow moving.
Yeah, they move slow. Yeah. In fact, some of the people that do merchandise for my films, they have T-shirts out, and on the front it says "Fast zombies suck" and "Slow zombies." On the back it says "Slow zombies rule." So.
And the fact is too. Let him know, Fez, would you please?
Mm-hmm.
The fact is too is didn't you kind of the way that zombies work today is really a George Romero creation. What we think of as a zombie, you really invented that character, right?
I guess I can be blamed for it, yeah. I mean, I never called them zombies in the first film.
Is that right?
I made four of these films in this series. And the first film, I called them flesh eaters or ghouls. And I never... Because when I was growing up, zombies were those guys in the Caribbean, that were picking cotton for Lugosi.
Yeah.
And so I never thought of them as zombies initially.
What were they to you? They were just the undead.
Undead, yeah. Flesh eaters.
Now, how did you come up with the idea for that film? You did a very, very shoestring budget, right?
Oh yeah, man. We had a little commercial production company, beer commercials, industrial film. And so we had the equipment and said, well, why don't we try to make a flick? And I basically ripped the idea off from a Richard Matheson novel called I Am Legend.
Mm-hmm.
And he used vampires, so I made them ghouls.
Right.
And I really thought of them as ghouls. I never thought of them as zombies.
And now that character is, they're almost the new vampires. They're used so much now. And particularly there's something about that character for younger kids. They get a real kick out of that, right?
Yeah, and I can't quite identify why.
Yeah.
And my stuff has a shelf life. I go to these things and I have 60-year-old people coming around who are fans, and I got 12-year-olds that are fans.
Yeah.
Because the video has kept the stuff on the shelf,
And the kids like the independent film now, which it wasn't even called that when you started it, right?
No, I don't think they even knew the word.
Right. I mean, because you should not attempt to make a film in Pittsburgh with no money and no way to distribute it before. I mean, somebody should have talked you guys out of this idea.
Somebody should have.
Yeah.
I wish I had a wiser, a smarter uncle. Who said, don't put your money in this, kid. Use somebody else's money.
So, how did you distribute it first? Did it just go out one city at a time?
No. We actually got a distributor.
Uh-huh.
We literally threw it in the trunk of the car. In those days there were film labs in cities the size of Pittsburgh because the news was on film.
I didn't even think of that. That is true. So because the news was shot on film, you'd have a place to go.
Yeah, laboratories and finishing places where you could finish and all that. So we literally finished the film in Pittsburgh and threw it in the trunk of the car and drove it to New York.
So you were by the time you got the whole thing shot and done and ready to go, how much money had you guys invested?
We had spent $70,000 in cash, in money that we actually had, and we owed. The total came in at around 114, so we owed whatever the difference is. There was $45,000 or something, and we paid it off. I mean, the movie actually returned money in its first year,
which had to be so exciting for you guys.
Incredible.
Right?
Well, yeah, but it also convinced us that this was an easy business, which it's not. So, we promptly went out and made 3 more films that just, went right into the toilet.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Everything.
I resisted doing horror, and we tried to do more high-minded stuff,
right?
Which you can't do without stars in
exactly.
Pittsburgh, but even those films are they're all out on video now, and they all have sort of a little bit of a following. So we've been pretty lucky. I've had this amazingly, very lucky sort of under the radar career.
Where do you live now?
Right now, I'm living in Toronto.
Any reason at all is it for movie purposes or?
Well, I shot my last 2 films I shot in Toronto, and I have so most of my friends right now are people that I work with are up there, and I just decided to love it up there. But I never lived. I grew up in New York in the Bronx, went to Pittsburgh to go to college, and stayed there, lived there.
Were you Carnegie Mellon or
Carnegie Mellon?
Yeah.
And I lived there up until 2 years ago.
And that was always a kind of an artist type community, right? I mean, there's a lot of great actors that come out of that school and filmmakers.
Yes, yeah, wonderful theater school. And I didn't. I went in as a painting and design major, and then transferred to theater. And I was no good. They didn't like my diction. They didn't like the way I stood like a tree, and so I left without graduating.
But painting and design, somewhat. I mean, I guess it had to help you aesthetically for what you ended up doing, right?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I have somewhat of a visual sense from that, or a sense of composition. As I used to shoot, I actually shot Night of the Living Dead myself.
Yeah.
We had a little company, and everyone in the company were, everyone there was a filmmaker in his or her own right. We all did it all, recording and editing and.
The reason why you shot the horror film first is like, we don't need a big story, we don't need big stars, and you thought of that as a chance to go out and do other kind of films.
Yeah, exactly. We were hoping to, build on that.
But
it was in our minds, though. We were all '60s guys,
right?
And pissed off that the '60s didn't work. We didn't really change the world as much as we thought, and it didn't change it at all. So the film has a political side to it,
Right.
I'm all for my zombie films, and the zombies are almost an excuse for me to make a movie about something else.
Right.
George Romero's in the studio with us. He's going to be at the Big Apple Comic Book and Sci-Fi Expo going on all this weekend, starting today at the Penn Plaza Pavilion on 7th Avenue in New York City.
We'll take some phone calls, too. Rick has a good one. I want to put you on with Mr. George Romero. How you doing, Rick?
Hello?
Yes, how are you?
Yeah, okay, Mr. Romero.
Hi, Rick.
Yeah, I talked to you about 15 years ago on the subject of the mistakes that were in Dawn of the Dead, and you said you were going to look at them with that fat guy that had no makeup on that was smiling when he was going in. Did you ever look at that?
Yeah, well, I see it. I see a lot of that stuff in that movie now. I don't. We were just making a movie, man, with a lot of unprofessional, people that were just coming in for the lark of it, to be zombies. So,
and that's one of the stuff that people even like about those early films too, right? That they were real shot drive-in style.
Yeah, they're funky.
Yeah. Now, what was the film that you did with Ed Harris back in the early '80s? It was
it's a film called Night Riders.
Yeah.
Ed's still a great friend, a wonderful actor.
It's a terrific film too.
Thank you.
And
I like it a lot. I mean, it's a non-horror thing.
Right. People don't relate that normally to what they consider your style now. Yeah. But where did you come up with the idea for that film?
I wanted to do. It's a bit autobiographical, maybe. It's about somebody that's trying to do something outside the system, and the system keeps trying to pull him in, and he resists. And I did it sort of. It reflects the Camelot legends.
Mm-hmm.
And I originally wrote it like just one of these traditional Renaissance fairs, like the Society for Creative Anachronism or something. And then someone, as a joke, said, well, man, the only way you're going to get this made is if you put them on motorcycles. And at first I said, give me a break. And then I started to think about it, and I said, wow, maybe it's not such a bad idea. So that's what I did. I mean, someone just suggested.
And it was just a separate reality. That world was just where knights would be on motorcycles.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's an amazing, and Harris was amazing in it too. Yeah, and I don't. Was that his first film? Because I don't remember seeing him before that.
He had made he played the villain in a Charles Bronson movie called Borderline. I hadn't even come out yet when I first met Ed, and I met him at an audition.
Really strong, and I mean, you knew it right away. It's so funny how some of those actors. They already have whatever they are right from the word go.
Ed certainly had that. He had it when he walked in the room.
Right.
I said, whoa, forget about it. You don't need to read anything. You don't need to hear sign this.
So the real theme for you in your work is you're still that outsider who's really not part of any system and
trying to be.
Not comfortable with the system.
Not comfortable with it at all. I mean, I fled. I did I call it my years of penance in Hollywood. I got involved in all these big development deals on some pretty big projects, and they just never got made into movies,
You kind of get paid while that's happening?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I made more money in that period than I've ever made.
Yeah, I have friends that went to L.A. and they're writing, and none of their stuff gets out, and they're kind of happy with their lifestyle, but nothing ever gets done. And I'm like, how much money is wasted in Hollywood every year on just...
I'm telling you, I've been in projects where they spent, up to almost $6 million with nothing happening.
And everybody's staying on the bench, really.
Yeah, developing it, shooting tests, designing sets and everything. Then the movie's unmakeable because now somebody finds that script 2 years later and says, oh, I'd like to make that. And they say, oh, yeah, except you got to pay us $6 million.
Right, that's what we put into it.
That's what we put into it. And so, basically the stuff disappears.
And you did the projects with Stephen King. How did you and he hook up?
Did a couple of those. Well, we hooked up, actually, Warner Brothers set up a meeting for us when they were going to do Salem's Lot as a theatrical film. And so we got together over that. And then Warner's decided to do it for television. And neither Steve nor I wanted to be involved in that. So Steve said, well, we'll do something someday. And then he came to Pittsburgh, actually, to do a little cameo in Knight Rider.
Right.
And he said...
The drunk guy.
Yeah, and he said, I have an idea for a movie. He knew that I grew up on EC comic books, and so did he.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, let's do something that's, sort of an homage to those old comic books. And he wrote Creepshow. I mean, he wrote it in a matter of 3 weeks.
He's just a machine.
He's a machine, when he gets going. And that's how we started, and we're working on a project together right now.
And he just seems like yourself, like a laid-back guy who's never really comfortable in that corporate.
No, he lives in Maine.
Yeah.
He came to Pittsburgh the whole time we were shooting Knight Riders, and he'd either ride his motorcycle in or, And, he's a blue suede guy. Man, he plays in a rock band with these other authors.
Yeah, I remember when he had his own radio station up there so he could just listen to the songs he wanted to. And it was like metal and, none of the stuff that would ever get played.
No, I guess when you have that kind of bread, right?
Yeah, right.
Instead of buying the CDs.
Although,
are you kidding me? I mean, he's a baseball fan, so what did he do? He bought a piece of the Sox.
Right. Well, I remember with a story like with Howard Hughes where he was the one who came up with the idea of movies being on all night because he was an insomniac. So he just bought the local television station in Vegas and just said, keep running the movies all night long. Up to that point, movies used to stop at, 1 o'clock in the morning or something. Here's Mike. We'll put Mike on. You're on with Mr. George Romero. He's appearing this weekend if you want to go out and meet him.
You can meet him at the Big Apple Comic Book and Sci-Fi Expo at the Penn Plaza Pavilion all this weekend.
Here's Mike. Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hey, George. It's an honor and a pleasure to talk to you, man. It's incredible. I love your movies. I got all 4 Dead movies. I was just wondering, what did you think of the remake of Dawn of the Dead?
You know, it was better than I expected it was going to be, but I think in the end it sort of lost its reason for being, and I really don't, I don't know, I don't like fast zombies, man.
you like really slow zombies.
Yeah.
How about the Shaun of the Dead, which
I
were you
loved
involved with that, or is it just like an homage?
Not at all.
Yeah.
It was an homage, and those guys actually, they sent me a print before they had U.S. distribution, and they said, we want to see if you're going to, step on us, or if you're going to, if you like this at all. And I just loved it.
I thought it was hysterical,
just
too.
Just hysterical. Really great. And very loving to the genre, I thought it was really terrific. So I still see those guys whenever we're in the same city. They're great guys. They came in both Simon and Edgar, the director, are zombies in Land of the Dead. They came in
Is that right?
Yeah.
There's something about that British sense of humor, too, that I think they're whipping our ass right now. We've really got to catch up with them. Here is Steve. Steve, you're on with Mr. George Romero. How are you, buddy?
Hey, George, the dead aren't supposed to get smart.
Oh, yeah, they get smart. My guys are getting smarter. It's just recall. I don't know that they're getting any smarter. They're just putting two and two together.
Here's Troy. Troy, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Hey, it's a pleasure. I just want to say it's a pleasure to talk to George.
Thank you,
enjoy your films very much. I own all of them. No matter how much these dead movies come out, I just go back to yours every time. So, Like I said, the slow zombies are a lot better than the fast zombies. The fast zombies are just too damn scary. So.
Hey, George, what kind of weird stuff do people bring you to sign? I heard there's some things you'll turn down from time to time.
Well, no, I haven't really turned anything down except when they want me to sign movies that I don't like, that I had nothing to do with.
Right.
That's pretty much the only stuff. I have a slight hesitation when people want me to sign various body parts, but for tattooing.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, man.
Stuck that way forever.
You really want, my name on your wrist forever? I mean, I don't get it, but I haven't really said no.
So a lot of your fans are even in the horror stuff way more than you are, I'm going to guess, right?
Way. Yeah, I'm not a student. I don't rush out to see this stuff. I sort of do my own work under the radar.
Right. But do you have any kind of filmmakers now, younger guys or guys coming up that you're saying, like, I dig your stuff?
I don't, as I say, I'm not really a student. There's nobody certainly working in the genre that I'm too blown away by. I mean, I think Peter Jackson is a great filmmaker, and I'd like to see him go back to horror, because his roots are there. I wish he would do sort of a balls out horror thing again.
You think there's a chance of that, or
I don't know.
Once he's really caught up in it now, right?
Yeah, I think he's. It's hard to turn down that $200 million when somebody tells you, "Here, we're going to let you make King Kong, man." I mean, how can you say no?
And you're, I know, like you're kind of that godfather of indie thing. That so many guys that are making their own little small independent films look to use you as almost a boilerplate of how to get it done.
Well, that's terrific, and I go to film schools and I speak at colleges and so forth. And my best advice is you just got to get out and do it somehow.
Right.
It's easier now. I mean, when we were trying to make Night, it was all on film. It was very expensive. I mean, now you can grab a camera, a digital camera, and at least get something in the can. Because if you haven't done anything and you want to make films, you're never going to talk your way in. You can't walk in and say, "I know how to make a movie."
Trust me. Yeah.
You got to show them.
Yeah, you got to show them something.
Yeah. So my best advice is just get out there and do a 10-minute thing. Do something that shows your stuff.
George Romero is with us here this afternoon. Here's Dennis. Dennis, you're on the Ron and Fez show. How you doing, pal?
Buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Fez, I'm bringing a copy of my comic book to you tomorrow.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Check it out. Mr. Romero.
Yeah, you do comic books?
Yes, sir. I draw a book for Marvel Comics.
Oh,
great.
I'll
be at the convention tomorrow, but I'm sure my crowd won't be as big as yours.
Oh, man, I don't know. Let's come and say hello.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm probably in the vast minority. My favorite movie of yours is actually The Dark Half.
Is that right?
It is. I actually really liked that movie. I thought it was incredibly underrated, and just it's nice to see. You did a movie that was kind of restrained. And
yeah,
it was really interesting.
Well, thank you. I mean, my zombie films are really it's that series that I guess I get all the rep for, the gory stuff. That's the reputation comes from those films. But I like Dark Half very much. Actually, it was under-distributed is what it was.
Oh, yeah? Will you be doing any other movies based on Stephen King books?
I'm hoping to, yeah. I'm working on one right now from a Buick 8.
Oh,
I guess with the distribution film, it's one of those things where they want to make the George Romero name, the brand. They want your name now above the title, and they want people to be thinking
with
horror.
with a certain kind of film, it works. Like with Land of the Dead, that makes sense. But in the case of Dark Half, I think it was a mistake. And Night Riders, because people, they shouldn't try to sell me, because people then come and expecting, something gruesome, and when they don't get it, they're,
exactly
turned off.
Danny here is a gigantic fan of yours, and he's one of the interns working here. And the other day when we found out we had you booked, he was wearing one of your T-shirts. So this is exciting for him. He just wanted to come in and meet you and ask a question for himself. Go ahead, Dan.
Great.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice seeing you.
All right, hold on. You got your mic's
not on?
Yeah, there you go. Now you're on.
Now you're on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, a few things. First
you wrote
of all,
this down on a piece of
I
paper?
absolutely did, because I knew I would be so nervous to meet the legend himself.
Get out of
Mr.
here.
Romero, he has a prepared statement.
I do.
This is much too scholarly.
Well, I was thinking, with all these new style horror movies that are coming out today, like Saw and The Grudge, The Ring, do you feel that any of these new films will reach that legendary cult status that your films have?
Well, I certainly haven't seen one that'll do it for me, or that I'm going to want to go back and look at in 5 years from now.
What is it that you're not liking about them?
I just think some of it is just, it's purely for the sake of horror. I mean, my ideas come completely from something else, somewhere else. There's always so much more of a, political underside to it.
Kind of about repression itself. And
characters, human condition, and it's like that. I mean, I just don't think of ideas like, watch this video and you'll die. It's and I find it very simplistic. And the movies might be scary, but it's just, my goal is not to make movies that are particularly scary, but to use the genre to sort of, be able to show who I am and express some opinions, or criticize Bush, or whatever comes to mind at the moment.
As a guy with the '60s mentality, and you're not even living in the country right now and seeing what's going on, it's got to just been your worst nightmare from when you were younger.
It does. I mean, it's really sort of gone completely the other way, man. With you see the religious right, and you see this although I don't know, maybe George put his foot in it once too often. I don't know.
I just don't see the Democrats coming back. I don't see what they got anymore.
I don't know. That's the problem. Who do they have?
Yeah.
But
go ahead, Dan. You can ask another one. I know this is exciting for you.
It
go
absolutely
ahead.
Is. I was curious about the Return of the Living Dead series, and if you felt that it kind of cheapened the franchise of your Dead movies.
I didn't like them.
Well, they were terrible.
and Jack Russo, my partner on the original Night of the Living Dead, who co-wrote the screenplay for the original Night of the Living Dead, had written a novel called. When we split up, we made a deal with each other that you do whatever you want to do and I'll do whatever I want to do. So we each had the right to sequelize. And we gave each other that right. And Jack wrote a novel called Return of the Living Dead.
And that's where the actual screenplay came?
No, they bought it, promising that they would stick to his novel, which was much better than the resulting film. And once they owned it, they just did whatever they wanted to do.
And turned it into some campy stuff.
Yeah.
Here's Scott. He wants to talk to you. Scott, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, George, it's an honor to speak to you.
Hey, thank you. Nice talking
to
you.
Hey, Ron and Fez, you guys pulled it off. Another outstanding guest.
Well, you can't beat this.
Hey, but my question is, Rob Zombie, I know I've seen interviews and read about, you was a big influence on him. I just wondering what you thought of The Devil's Rejects and his other films and stuff.
Thanks.
Well, can I tell you, I haven't seen The Devil's Rejects, even though a bunch of my buddies are in it. But like I said, actually, we were busy. I was still doing Land of the Dead and going around promoting it when that came out, so I just never had a chance. And I haven't gone to rent it. I've been working on this other new stuff, too. What happens is I get involved in work, and I don't really get to go to the movies much.
It's kind of interesting, too. It's like, if we have somebody from, classic rock in here, people are always asking them about new bands. And when you're working on your own stuff, like a painter isn't always going to be going out to the galleries to see who the new up-and-coming painting people are.
Exactly. You just don't do it,
Your stuff really comes from creating. That's if you weren't creating, you probably wouldn't even be a big fan of maybe even anybody's work.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, I always loved movies, but I'm into the oldies, man. I mean, all the influences on whatever style that I have, I'm still trying to define it. I'm still learning in a sense.
Stuff that you were influenced by a kid, and what kind of woke you up to it.
Orson Welles, Michael Powell, those cats, and all the the old Hollywood stuff. In a way, I'm a kind of a traditionalist, even though I use a sort of a traditional presentational style in order to, do things that are a bit more radical. But
that's so great. No one would ever think, here's the timeline. It goes back to Orson Welles. But for you, it's an easy line to make.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, Night of the Living Dead, particularly, I think you can see a photo. Really, if I was ripping off shots from him, ripping off lighting, and
And really, there was a guy who was an independent filmmaker of his time. He was a guy who was working outside the system.
Yeah.
George Romero hanging out with us today. You can have a chance to go and meet him this weekend.
That's the Big Apple Comic Book and Sci-Fi Expo going on all this weekend, starting today, actually, at the Penn Plaza Pavilion. That's at 7th Avenue and 33rd Street, across from Madison Square Garden.
We'll take one more call. Here's Dan. Dan, you're on Ron and Fez. How are you, buddy?
Hey, good. Boys, how you guys doing?
Good.
Mr. Romero, it's a pleasure and an honor. I'm a humongous fan of yours and John Carpenter's. You guys are like gods to me.
Thank you.
And I was just wondering if you had any plans for if you're working on any work right now or anything like that, or if you're planning on working with somebody like Eli Roth or anything like that in the future.
No, I'm working on as I said, I'm hoping for this one Stephen King project to materialize. There's also all of a sudden a lot of talk about another zombie film because I guess the Land of the Dead really went through the roof in Europe and the DVDs have been off the shelf. So it made enough money that they want to do another one. But I don't know if it's real yet or not. But I have 3 or 4 things that I'm working on right now.
Great. Do you think maybe Land of the Dead didn't do as well here as it did overseas, maybe?
It didn't. Definitely did not. I think they just opened it at the wrong time. It was scheduled for Halloween, and then Doom, I think, dropped out, or they didn't like the way it turned out, so they pushed that out of the summer date, and they put us in the summer date. And, a week after Batman, a week before War of the Worlds.
It all comes into that kind of stuff now.
Yeah. So it was, I think we were just sort of wrong place, wrong time.
Well, George Romero, go out and see him this week. George, it was a pleasure
My pleasure, man.
Meet you, man.
My pleasure.
Terrific.
Thank you so much. Great,
all right.
Great being here.
Thank you, George. It's the Big Apple Comic Book, Art, Toy, and Sci-Fi Expo going on all this weekend. George A. Romero is special guest of honor there. You can meet him there this weekend at the Penn Plaza Pavilion on 7th Avenue in New York.
Now, it's kind of interesting, Fezzi. We're going from George Romero, who's in here saying some of what he's doing now is somewhat a reaction to the Bush administration, and our next guest up has written an album that would be considered somewhat out of what he's done in the past. Burt Bacharach, known mainly for his love songs that it's just countless amount of hits that he's had over the years.
That huge catalog. The new CD is called At This Time, and Burt is going to be appearing next week, April 3rd and 4th, at B.B. King's Blues Club in Times Square in New York.
Now, the new film, and, Earl and I were talking about this because we're both big fans of the Rhino set of Burt Bacharach's. The new CD, it kind of had a Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, lyrical thing about it that, for me at least, was surprising. Burt Bacharach, welcome to the Ron and Fez show. How are you, sir?
Good to talk to you guys. Yeah, thanks. That interesting follow-up to your last guest, sure.
Yeah, to go from George Romero, who told us some of his stuff that he's done in his horror films. It's a reflection of what he thinks is going on in the world today, and it kind of leads into your album that I guess has surprised some people.
Well, look, this album is not a surprise to me. It's almost like I had to write it, I mean, it all, where did it get triggered? Of course it got triggered by 9/11, It got triggered by, I'm in Florida right now, on my way up to play a concert in New Jersey tomorrow night. And I've been doing a ton of concerts in, more than I've ever done in a 3-month period. And, I feel like I'm a messenger. Didn't start that way. It started out, I got 2 young kids, a 9-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 19-year-old. And I'm worried to death about their future. And, that could sum it up, guys, by, I won a Grammy, a month ago with this album, the best instrumental album of the year. And I'm very, very proud of this achievement. I think this, the 6th Grammy I've won, but it's the most important because it means the most to me because it means that my peers, the people in the industry, stood up and said, yeah, thanks for saying what you're saying. And yes, it is political. And, you know, I mean, the centerfold, or the strongest statement in the album is a piece called Who Are These People that features Elvis Costello. You know, we've got wonderful kind of cameos in this album.
Right.
We've got Rufus Wainwright. We've
Genius.
got Chris Bodie, brilliant trumpet player. Dr. Dre. I mean, who would have thought me, Dr. Dre, you know?
But one of the things is anybody who writes or arranges music has always loved Burt Bacharach, right? There's always been people that you would think, oh, their style is different from Burt Bacharach, but they've always loved what you've done, right?
I could say as a generalization, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like, maybe some critics thought, well, that he's working in the popular thing, but I think music people have always been into you.
I would hope, you know. I mean, hey, you never know. I mean, you cannot... Look, I am somebody that tries to please.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all want to be liked. Does it hurt to get some negative feedback on this album? Yeah, but, you know, why would I expect anything else? I mean, I did a concert a week and a half ago where we did some stuff from the new album as well as all of the old stuff. And a guy walked past the light booth and leaving, and he said, you know, I always liked his music, but I didn't come here to listen to his politics.
Right.
But by the same token, after the concert, you know, they're selling CDs on these venues in the lobby, and a lot of people have been buying them, and then they come up, and I'll sign them because I've never done that with an album. You know, after a concert, I'm wiped. You know, I give them everything I got on stage, and it's interesting the comments you get. Like, there was a soldier. He said, stood in line, had a CD. He said, "Listen, I've been in the Army for 30 years. Thank you for taking the stand you're taking." And something like that, you're not going to get just with an audience that's sitting out there liking it or not en masse. You know, you're going to get it. I mean, whether it's people coming up to you and saying, and I put that time in, which I've always felt you got to give back. Somebody comes up to you in a restaurant, you're in the middle of eating a meal, and saying, "Hey, Charlie, could I have your autograph?" You know, could it have been a more appropriate time? Yeah, it could have been, but you know, you got to give back.
But
you do it.
I think people were surprised by this, Bert. I mean, a lot of your most famous love songs are written during the Vietnam War. You didn't write about that war.
No.
And now you're involved.
Well, look, that was far away in a sense. We didn't have 24/7 in news coverage in the media, and you know, I stayed in a cocoon and wrote love songs because in a way that was healing for what I felt, you know. It was a war that was far, far away. When they hit the buildings in New York, you know, I'm in Florida now, basically a red state.
Mm-hmm.
Was it off in 2000? Should Gore have probably won? We'll never know. But, you know, I certainly felt an injustice. Look, guys, when I won a Grammy, I had my two kids, hand in hand, and I went up there to face the press line, you know, and the questions. And the questions are very much like you're asking. And so, guys are saying, women were saying, why would you, at this point in your life, make a detour and write like this, express these things? And the first time I've written lyrics in my life, co-wrote the lyrics, you know, with Tony O'Kay, because it was necessary for me to say exactly what was on my mind. And I said, right there on the spot, I said, look, I've always had a problem with a girlfriend who lies. I've always had a problem with an agent who lies. And I'll always have problems with a president who lies.
And is it a thing for you that you sit down and say, I'm going to write this kind of song, or do you just kind of follow the muse? You just kind of...
No, it started with the first track on the album, which is Please Explain, which is a Dr. Dre drum loop, and which is a tip-off of where we're going. Okay, first piece, there is a cross-reference to What the World Needs Now is Love, which was written, 35, 40 years ago. Right. With this great Dr. Dre drum and bass loop going on, and I'm singing. There was a song I remember said, "What the world needs now is," and then the strings take it away. And I still believe it. There are references to love all the way through. Is it patchwork? Can it help? Can it put Band-Aids on temporarily? Is anything fixable? I don't know, but this to me that was the tip of where we were going with this album. Please explain. Where's the love? Where did it go? Who took our dreams and threw them away? Where are the hopes we once had? Please explain. The sun and the moon crying at the end. I mean, that was just the beginning.
Right.
And the more I wrote in the album, the more I'd watch Aaron Brown on CNN as I got ready to go to bed at night and see the statistics coming out and then get the information about the white paper. Hey, why enumerate it all? Doesn't it say it all when I said to you, I've always had trouble with a girlfriend who lies?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that says it. And the other thing is, in my heart, I felt if our president had said at some time in an address before the American people, stay with me on this, folks. I have had wrong information. I take full responsibility. We'll get through this. Stick with me. But don't justify it. I mean, admit when you're wrong. I mean, there's a line in Who Are These People? That who are these leaders who can't admit when they're wrong?
Right.
And, I'm very, very troubled by it because I got kids. I'd like to believe I'd be very, very troubled if I had no kids.
Well, thank you so much for being on. I compared this as I brought you on with the Marvin Gaye album, What's Going On, because you're speaking...
Yeah, it was. Yeah, man, that was going on. Look, what an album. The killer album.
And, again, some of your stuff is just not about the administration, but it's about society. And I think it's very interesting that you're doing this stuff at this point in your career. I think there's an honesty that this is what you actually think, and you're not trying to put on a persona.
And I was asking, I think Marilyn back around the thing about the X-rated download that's out now.
Right.
At the end of Who Are These People? And, that was in record company debated back and forth whether they wanted to let that line stay.
Right.
Because when you hear Elvis sing it, it's a killer.
Right. And did he just kind of improv that on the...
No. That was what I wanted to say.
That was your line that you wrote.
Yeah, and Elvis was upset when we had to take it off. I understood the record company's point of view, but the record company also was saying, you're saying it all in the piece.
Right.
Things have gotten so much worse since then. So there was kind of like back and forth. Should it stay? They said, won't get on Walmart,
Right.
Well, I knew the album wasn't going to get played on Walmart. It wasn't going to get sold there. And, I had two record companies very supportive, saying, hey, how much airplay, if any, we're going to get on this album? Don't worry about it. Take chances, Bert. Take risk. We know you can do it.
Hey, Bert, sometimes when you mean fuck, the only thing to say is fuck. That's the only way around it, bro.
Well, thank you. And when you hear Elvis say, at the end of Who Are These People, and you can download it, the X-rated version now, not the album, just that cut, when Elvis Costello says, see, we got to make a change. And the way it was it's a clean version, before it's too late. And it was it had a lot of pathos. But the original line, when Elvis sings, see, we got to make a change, or we're all fucked. Nobody has ever said fucked like Elvis Costello.
Thank you so much for being on, Burt Bacharach.
Hey, thanks for being with me, guys, and letting me be myself.
Anytime, man.
Thanks,
All right.
Bert.
Take it easy.
His CD at this time available in stores now, and you can see Burt Bacharach in concert performing at B.B. King's Blues Club. That's April 3rd and 4th coming up next week. For more info on that, go to bbkingblues.com.
And I've been doing this a long time. That had to be the weirdest segue of my life to go from George Romero into Burt Bacharach. And, Earl, did Burt Bacharach just kind of half sing fuck at me?
Yes, he
was
did.
That an odd moment for us all here?
That was...
Yeah.
Yes,
it was.
That is a pure XM moment.
I know. And here's what I like. Hey, thanks for letting me be myself. It's been a long time. I've really wanted to say that on the radio. Wow. That was a weird break all the way around. George Romero, very, very cool guy. And Burt Bacharach, I know, there's always a thing about him, but Earl and I both have the Rhino set. I'm telling you right now, if you got a woman coming over your house, fucking pop on that Burt Bacharach Rhino set, and you're halfway there. I say have that and some kind of olive oil pasta, and you're going to have the night of your life with her, because she's going to think that you're something that you're not. She's going to think that you're way classier than you are. Very cool guy, George Romero, right?
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah, people are going to have fun meeting him at the Big Apple Con.
Totally different what I expected. I expected to meet the horror guy. And he's really just like this really cool old hippie,
right?
You know? And, you take that into Burt Bacharach, who you expect to meet the guy in a, I don't know, like a tuxedo with the tie undone, and he's drinking a martini. And he's really an older guy who's kind of afraid of what's happening in the world right now, trying to lay some wisdom back on people who want to hear what's going on. Very bizarre. You're having a weird birthday, Fez.
It's very odd. Earl, the birthday show you've lined up today, just beyond compare.
Yeah. Now, all we need you to do, Fez, is drink and then start crying, and it's a normal Fez birthday all the way around.
Then my day is complete.
Let's take a break here. We'll be right back. Ron and Fez Show. Ron and Fez Show. Fezzy's birthday today.
Yeah, I want to thank Abadanza's restaurant for sending over food for my birthday. 193 Bleecker Street in New York. You can give them a call, check out the menu, make reservations. 212-254-2542. That's Abadanza's on Bleecker Street in New York. And thanks to Keith the Cop for setting that up.
Fez, this food is out of this world. It's absolutely out of this world.
I gotta try. I gotta dig into this.
What do you? What can you have today? Do you know?
I think they sent over some sort of veggie dish for me.
Well, you know how I was going to do food with you tonight. This is it.
This is the food?
Why not?
Well, it's not nighttime.
I can't beat this.
This can't count as a dinner. This is not a dinner.
I wanted to do dinner when a show with you tonight. Dave, come in here and start doing your march, your funny march.
Oh, here comes the parade. Moron parade.
The intern parade, the freak parade is starting.
Kenny, Somebody's got Kenny. John.
There they go.
Someone has to be unafraid.
Someone's got to be unafraid, John.
To lead the
just back and forth.
Parade. Oh, somebody's got to be unafraid to lead the freak parade.
Somebody's got to be unafraid to lead the freak parade.
Hey,
somebody's got to be unafraid to lead the freak parade. To lead the freak, to lead the freak, to lead the freak parade.
Okay, let's see if the kids can keep up.
Somebody's got.
All you kids in the car, let's see how fast you can follow the bouncing ball. 1, 2, 1, 2, play well. Somebody's got to be unafraid to lead the freak parade. Somebody's got to be unafraid to lead the freak parade. Hey, somebody's got to be unafraid to lead the freak parade. Lead the freak, to lead the freak, to lead the freak parade. Again,
somebody's got to be unafraid to lead the freak parade. Somebody's got to be unafraid to lead the freak parade.
That help you, Fez? Wait, is that little Lene in the middle of the freak parade?
How did Lene get in the freak parade?
Come in here, Lene.
Lene, what are you doing here? Come on in.
Hey, honey.
All of a sudden, you were just in the middle of a freak parade.
Lene is, with sometime we thought was Fez's illegitimate daughter, but I guess not. She's just like a daughter to you, Fez.
Yeah, exactly. Because my womb is barren.
By the way, I was back there and Earl said to me, everyone at Ron Fez is a fucking asshole. So I guess he read whatever the listening thread was and thinks that they're all assholes. Earl, don't worry about it. I thought you did great. The straights are never going to get you, brother. We don't have to. We don't have to do that. It's our show now.
It's tough as nails, buddy.
Tough as nails. Tough it up. Don't go looking at listening threads. It'll only make you cry. Fez won't read them.
No, I refuse.
I'll read them because I don't care one way or the other. Lene, how are you doing, honey?
Good. I have some things for you, Fezzy.
Oh, you
do?
do?
What is that? Is Fez's birthday stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, go ahead and... This is something you bought for him?
No, but here. This is explaining it.
Oh, why don't you tell me what it is from there? Why don't you explain what you got written?
Yeah.
Okay, dear Fezzy, I am sorry of not giving you a gift. This is because my grandma died and my other grandma broke her left hip.
All right, honey.
Wait.
Yeah.
I didn't really have any time. There was hardly any time.
Okay, so
But
these
I
are
do-
homemade.
But here's the thing, Lene.
Yes.
Excuses. I mean, everybody can make excuses. And I know your grandmother died and your other grandmother broke her hip, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have 5 minutes to go out and get Fez something nice at the store? You couldn't have gone from the funeral to the hospital and maybe said, oh, there's a store, pull over, Mommy, and picked out Fezzy something nice.
Yeah, there's always gift cards.
I noticed you're dressed nice.
Yes.
Why not pick up another little blouse for Fezzy?
Something that says cool in sequins and rhinestones.
There's nothing you could have brought from the funeral, like some flowers or something?
Well, I mean, those were for my grandma, though. Come on.
Right, at the time. And now we move on from one day to the next.
It was still crazy. We had to do thank you cards.
Right. Did you have have you been eating dinner since then?
Yes.
Yeah, so there are things for yourself you will take time for.
There's shopping time.
Yeah.
Even if Grandma had some jewelry or something.
I know that you're young and losing a grandparent seems like a big deal. But Fez and I have been around the block a few times. We've seen people come and go. And we still can take care of our responsibilities, can't we?
I made him a card. Actually, I didn't make it for him, but I did get him a card.
What's he going to do with a card?
He's going to show it to everybody. It's going to be so... It's cute.
Can he wear it? Can he eat it? Can he dance with it? No.
Spend it?
Yeah. Now, all the time that you were in here in the Freak Parade, what if you're out shopping then, buying something nice for him? We're in New York. There's nothing but stores.
It's just that, Lene, you're going to go to plenty of funerals in your life. How many birthdays of mine are you going to have?
Well, maybe, Fez, maybe it's not your birthday because she's been to a funeral. Let's take away Fez's special day.
No.
No. Okay, here. This.
What is that?
This
is the excuse list?
No, this was...
I'm getting the same note her teacher got because the homework didn't get done.
Did you get to go to school?
Yes, of course. I have to go to school.
What, like there's some big math test going on or something?
Yes, there was a math test, but that...
Flimsy.
Yeah. Now, you've drawn him a couple pictures of Hello Kitty.
And that's a cat.
And then a cat.
Yeah, I knew you were going to make fun of it.
No, I'm not making fun of it at all. I'm just thinking, time enough to draw, time enough to shop.
I was getting ready today.
Maybe that's something you should put on a card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. If your grandmother didn't die and the other one didn't break the hip, would you have shopped then? Or would there be another excuse? Oh, my mom has the flu, or... You see what I'm saying?
My sneakers got wet.
Right.
I didn't have any time.
Now, Fez, your grandmother passed away last year, right?
Yep.
Yet you still got me Madden Football from my PlayStation. How do you find the time and all this morning to be able to make it a special day for me?
It's a word the good kids use, Ronnie, called priorities.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you realize what's important.
Okay. One more time. My grandma died, and my other broke her left hip. And there was we didn't have like any time to do anything. We were too busy making thank you cards. We're still making thank you cards for the funeral.
Why would you thank someone for breaking your grandmother's hip?
Oh no.
Thank you. Her hip wouldn't have broke without your help.
For the funeral, I said. Thank you for coming. Or
You've been to a funeral, that's sad, right? A birthday should be more like a funeral, where it's a fun day.
I know, it is a fun day.
When you come in here and you're talking about funerals?
Oh.
And bad
and you
hips?
have nothing?
I'm trying not to.
Oh, you have another thing that you drew?
Yes.
Oh, what's that?
This time I completed it.
Let's see.
Blackie Huge Hands. I know.
Blackie Huge Hands. Hi again, Ron and Fez. Wow, how long did that take?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. That's 5 minutes that could have been put towards buying a nice gift.
Oh my god.
And you have, I noticed that when you draw things, huge hands, huge eyes, and you have, this is supposed to be you? Yeah. And in this picture, you have brown skin and black lips. Do you think that's the way people look?
Who are you, Paris from American Idol?
Lene, let me ask you this. So this is a picture of a little girl, right?
Yes.
And there's a cloud over top of her.
Mm-hmm.
And the cloud is smiling. And the sun is smiling.
Yeah.
Do you ever see a sun smile or a cloud smile?
It's doodle. You want to make it like fun.
All right, so that's a crazy picture. And I don't want to bother Fez with that, so let's just tear off the top.
Okay.
Now,
get that smiley sun out of there.
Yeah, get that out of there. Now, here's a picture of a little black girl that looks nothing like you, and you say that it's you, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, if anything, unless you're getting this from Eartha Kitt, Fezzy, it's... If Eartha Kitt is tripping, that's what this picture looks like.
That's what I prefer right now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Fezzy, this is... Hold on.
This is another card for you?
Oh, this is Fezzy's card.
That's what I'm saying. 2 Fez from you? So that's 3 you made them.
Is that one of these fabulous thank you notes I keep hearing about?
No.
Okay, it's a card with a little dog on it. To Fezzy, happy birthday from Lene. Not much of a sentiment in there.
What? I made a little picture.
A little picture of a hat with a candle.
What?
A top hat with a candle coming out.
It's a cake.
Oh, that's a cake.
That's a cake.
Oh, you brought him a cake?
Oh, I would love cake. That would be a great birthday gift.
Oh,
no
Fez,
cake.
remember how I said I was taking you out to dinner?
Right.
Let me just draw a picture of a turkey and hand that to you.
Oh, please don't.
Because that passes by for actual gifts now.
I need real food and real gifts.
Lene, you have your own radio show, right?
Yes.
What's the name of it?
Lene D's Musical Saturday Mornings.
All right, Lene D's Musical Saturday Mornings. And what kind of music do you play on there?
Music, like,
Is it music, or are you just drawing pictures of music
No.
and holding it up to a microphone? Because if that's it, I'm not listening.
I'm playing music.
You're playing it like on a harmonica?
No.
You're playing songs by actual people?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Give us one of the songs. You never know what you're playing.
Okay, one of the songs is maybe... I don't know. I can't think of one right now.
This must be some show.
It's all done in 5 minutes. Now, Lene, I know you have a birthday coming up soon.
Yeah.
What are your, birthday party plans?
Well,
Funeral?
No.
Broken hip? You'll spend time to make that a nice day, won't you? I bet a funeral won't slow you down.
You've got a big slumber party, right?
No.
Where are you going? Great Adventure?
No.
Do you know what you're going to do that day?
I don't know. Well, it's gonna fall on a Wednesday, so I'm gonna be in school most of the day.
So you're not having a party or anything?
Well, yeah, I'm having a party tomorrow.
Oh, a party tomorrow. So we had time to plan that a week before your birthday.
Well, I can't make it, so let me draw a quick picture of a cat, and I'll just write "we're even" next to it. Because I understand that's the way things are done around here. Here you go. Enjoy it.
That's from both of us.
It hurts, doesn't it, when you get something like that? When a friend gives you a drawing, it hurts, doesn't it?
Picture of a cake that's not even colored in.
Why didn't you call it in for him? You know it's a big day for him.
No.
Maddie Fridays is on the line right now. How you doing, Maddie?
Hey, how's it going, Ron and Fez?
Good.
I figured out a translation of Lene's picture.
Oh, what's that?
Maybe it's a true representation of who her real daddy is.
All right, so you're saying what?
It's one of those jokes where I thought it was funny.
No, I just want to make it a little more uncomfortable and have you explain it. You're saying that Mikey D is not her real dad?
Well, I thought that was the joke that would be funny.
Lene, I'm sorry you had to hear that.
Swing and a miss. Bye.
No, don't go. Stay. Stay and be uncomfortable.
Please, talk to the girl.
Lene, I never expected that. I never expected that kind of weirdness today.
Yeah.
You believe that is your real dad, right, Mikey?
He is.
Would you be willing to take a blood test, both of you? A DNA test.
Why?
Maddie Fridays doesn't believe.
Just to prove it.
Maddie Fridays does not believe.
I know that he's my real dad.
Based on what? None of us are ever sure. We know that's our mom. But none of us are 100% sure that's our dad. And in your case, you look nothing like him.
Yes, I do.
You think?
Well, you're a young black girl with huge hands and black lips. And I'll say this. Look how one foot's going one way and the other's going the other. I mean, if you actually walk that way...
Okay, that's a doodle. I said for like...
Ew.
So all you gave him for his birthday was a doodle? Not even a nice painting?
Why don't you doodle on a plate and call that a cake?
You mean poop?
Yeah. That's what I mean.
I never know the little kids' terms. Like my mom, you know how they always have those bathroom words for you?
Right.
You know what my mom told me to call it? Shit. She would be like, hey, if you got to take a shit, let me know. I don't want you shit your pants. Very blunt, Lene. So why are you off school today?
Because of like grading tests. I think like...
I hope they're not grading your artwork.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Here is what would you give yourself if we were actually grading this? A through F. What would you give yourself?
A plus.
A plus?
Is this a special school that you go to for special kids?
God.
Or slow or speds is the word I'm trying to get out there?
It's a doodle, and I can do more than that. Okay?
Why didn't you? Oh, I remember. One grandmother died, the other broke her hip.
I just did it now. Because the guy gave...
Oh, you did it outside?
What?
Like, oh, I got nothing for Fez. I better doodle real quick.
Oh, so you used the XM office supplies.
Is that right? This is our ink that went into this?
Yeah, that's our stuff. That's our paper.
Here, Fezzy, hang that up.
Hanging off my ass.
I didn't even hear that. Did you, Lynette?
I heard it.
What did he say?
He said, why would I have to say that? Come on.
I have no idea even what's going on. I'm just trying to...
I don't recall saying it's a word.
I'm trying to save Fez a special day to be a special birthday for him.
You know how you can make it more special now, Ronnie?
How's that?
Stick me back in the subway tunnel where I was stuck this morning. Stick me in the tunnel.
You don't want to stick him in the tunnel, do you, Lene?
Stick me.
No. No. No.
Maybe you could sing a song for Aunt Fez. You have any songs that you know?
No, not really.
You don't sing any songs at the school of yours?
Well,
You guys never sang? You don't have a music class?
Well, the wheels on the slow bus go round and round.
Fez, I don't think
round.
she's slow. I think you're special.
Thank you.
I think you're going to work somewhere outside of a supermarket handing newspapers out to people. What would you like to be if it was your real career? If you could pick today.
Funeral
your dream,
director?
just your dream job. I think she wants to be a funeral director. That's just the last thing she saw.
Oh.
Plus, that takes schooling. Go ahead. What would your dream job be, Lene?
Hip nurse.
No.
Go ahead.
I said the last time I was here, actually, it really isn't like a job, but I mean like an actor or like a singer, I said.
Well, don't you see what your dad went through with failing at those? That, it's a very, very hard thing to be. When you have something that you can fall back on, like a housewife.
the success rate is really, really low. And I mean just for people in your family.
Here is Rob. Rob, you're on Ron and Fez.
Oh, hey, I'm thinking maybe if she practices her artwork, she can doodle herself a diploma one day.
You think that might be an idea?
I did not hear what he said.
Well, he's just basically saying doodle. Do you hear everything in the headphones?
Yeah, but I couldn't
Understand him? He's Southern. Yeah, he's Southern. He was saying, why don't you just doodle yourself a diploma and pretend that you graduated?
What?
Save some time.
I'm good in school. I couldn't.
Doodle school.
Fez, I'm going to get you some cheese doodles. That way, at least it's a doodle you could use for a change.
Yeah, theme birthday.
Rob, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, I just wanted to say it sounds like Lene is not cutting Fez an ounce of slack today on his birthday.
No slack. It's a tradition.
Yeah. No, I guess next year your mom will be here to hurt his feelings on his birthday.
What?
Lene, how are you spending the rest of the day today? You have time to go out and do some stuff in the city, or you have any plans?
Gotta do my show.
Do your show. So you got time to do your show. No
with
time
the playlist and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like with the playlist.
Well, but I thought you don't even know what songs that you play.
What?
You said you can name one song that you played.
Okay, I'll name one song that I played. Bed Shape by Keen. Okay.
How's that song go? Sing us a little bit of it.
I can't think about it now. I'm just thinking about you guys.
Right. So you can't even think.
I wish.
You can't think of one song.
I just thought about one right now.
But I mean, how to sing it. Now you're getting defensive.
It's going to be a little hard to grow up to be a singer when you refuse to sing.
Right.
I'm too busy.
Do you watch American Idol?
Yes.
Who's your favorite on there?
Nobody. They all stink.
Yeah. But they at least what? They try. They're attempting. They don't doodle and try to act like that's enough. They're giving it their hearts.
Here, Simon, I drew you a picture of a song.
You can't just doodle a couple of notes and act like you've done, and you should become the idol.
And you're the next American Idol.
And you want to be acted. Do you ever do any acting before? Do you know any scenes maybe you could play a part for us?
In movies?
Yeah. Do you know how to improvise?
What does that mean?
It means like we start to pretend that you're a couple other people and you're acting out.
Well, I know like a scene from this like
a TV show?
Yeah, a TV show.
All right, why don't you do a little bit so we can see what kind of actor you are? Okay. What's it going to be out so we can kind of set this up?
It's this TV show called The Office.
Oh yeah, good show.
Yeah?
Okay.
You watch it?
Yeah. And you're going to be the guy from The Office?
No, it's...
Secretary.
No.
You be the receptionist. That's a girl's job.
That's a good part.
No. I do a good job of Dwight.
Okay, why don't you try it?
Okay.
All right, this is Dwight from The Office, done by Lene D.
So he raises his hand. Wait, well... I gotta tell you the story first.
All right, go ahead. Tell us the story. Set it up.
Okay, he was trying to save his boss because he stepped on I don't know, like a grill.
Mm-hmm.
He stepped on a grill, and...
Step on a what, Fez?
Grill.
Grill?
Yes.
Girl.
Okay.
No, a grill.
Gorilla.
I stepped on a grill. Go ahead. So he steps on a grill. That's exciting.
And, he can't, go anywhere, so Dwight tries to save him.
Ooh.
And he crashes inside a pole. And then he got, a concussion.
Uh-huh. When's the scene going to start?
Okay. So he raises his hand.
Right.
Okay. And then the guy says, "So you have a question?" And he just keeps on raising his hand. And then the reception, Pam.
Grill?
No. Pam.
Gorilla.
No. Pam, this girl, the receptionist.
A gorilla is a receptionist or a grillist?
This is a funny show.
Didn't he already step on the grill?
He didn't step on the grill.
Yeah.
His boss did.
All right. Why don't you try saying this line to me? The gorilla chased the girl across the grill. And go.
What? The gorilla chased the girl to the grill?
The grill chased the grill into the grill.
Of the grill... That doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Tell me.
It's just acting.
The girl chased the girl to the grill?
Yes.
This is a scene from The Office?
She is good. All right, let's just try it. Let's do it real quick. Just do the acting part instead of the explaining part.
Okay. So you have a question? Dwight, you have your hand up.
That was it?
That was it.
All right, Fezzy, I want to apologize to you for the second year in a row your birthday was ruined by a member of the D family.
The D's got me again. One more time.
In 100 years, I didn't expect this to happen.
What?
Fezzy, we got a big party. Tomorrow night, your birthday party.
My birthday party, come out and join us. Join everybody at McFadden's on 2nd Avenue in New York City tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. Want to thank everyone today. Will Blythe, the author of his book, To Hate Like This Is to Be Happy Forever. George Romero appearing at the Big AppleCon this weekend in New York. Burt Bacharach, his new CD at this time in stores now. And Abadanza's on Bleecker Street for the great food today.
Hey, guys, thanks for letting me be myself. See ya.
Zip.
The Ron and Fez Show.
XM 202.